welcome back to another episode of Lost Souls. We find ourselves in the lands of No Kuni, the city of Ensvine, with a pretty unlikely group of individuals who have found themselves together on the search of quests of better immortality, understanding their powers, people who want to protect their lands, and some that were just seeking adventure and wealthy lands. And the very last episode, our adventurers met some new friends. And these new friends don't seem as if they trust everyone just as much as they should. But we are still figuring things out. It seems that everybody is torn between their decisions to either follow the words that are coming from Lyra or to completely back away from everything that's going on. Nobody seems to trust the king, and honestly, rightfully so. But they are going to meet with the king very soon. I will get over to the players and let them introduce themselves to you all. I am working on what you guys said, but in the meantime, we're going to come over and meet the players. We're going to start off with one of our new friends, August. August, how are you feeling about everything that's been going on? Like, what are you thinking?
I think these men have been conscripted to a fate that is not their own, and one that is deeply unfair. And I will do anything within my old power, maybe not vast, to release them from this goddess's grip, and whatever machinations the king holds.
That's very noble of you, considering where you come from and what you're doing. Any particular reason that you want to do that?
I find the Druid Grove intriguing. Their source of power could be an influence to my own immortality.
Awesome. We'll go ahead and move over to Misha. From there, you're traveling alongside August and meeting this ragtag crew. What are you thinking about everything that's been going on so far?
Well, so far, I think everyone's very interesting. They'll have their little quirks and all these different things. Besides, I'm just mostly following August and seeing what the heck he's gonna do, because, debts and all that.
Yeah, and speaking of those debts, I mean, how far are you paid off on that?
It's a good question. I feel like it doesn't go down.
It never will.
I'm sure we'll figure that out over time. Moving over, we'll talk to Chiuna.
Hello there. How are we today?
How are you feeling about everything that's happened so far?
I'm feeling, not the greatest. A little uncertain of where everything is going. Dealing with this goddess. And dealing with a nasty old king who thinks he has more power than I believe he truly does.
That's a very fair point. Does seem that way for sure.
We'll take him down a few notches.
All right. Moving over to Valerian.
Yes. Well, Mainly, I'm just hoping that Bert comes home. It's been a while, a day or so, and if I'm honest, I miss the large bastard.
You did seem to be having some fun, though.
Yes, sometimes a break from the, constant babysitting is awfully nice.
At my expense, no doubt.
Yes,
Rubs his
apologies to
mustache.
Yuna.
Just rubs the around where that drawn mustache is.
Our friend Joe is lost in his headspace as he usually gets. And Joe's just around and about, not here for an interview right now, but will be here tonight. So, last but not least, let's move over to Bert. Bert, you were off away from the party for a bit. How are you doing?
Bert found Pretty Fox. Bert followed Pretty Fox. Bert have fun.
All right. And speaking of that, we'll just go ahead and get right into the beginning of the session. And we'll head right over to where Bert is at.
Before we get too far, DM, can you just check your DMs from one of our other fellow players when you have a sec?
I sure can.
You can answer when you have time. I just told him I'd let you know.
While we're on this mini moment, the amount of garlic smell that is coming from my neighbor is intense.
Or is it like bad garlic smell?
No, it's good, but it's
okay.
so powerful too.
Yeah. That will stick. You know it will.
Yep.
Are they like making garlic bread or something?
I have no idea.
It must be cooking.
But yeah,
What's-
definitely.
Start to a session ever. I love a mini break at the start.
Garlic bread. I could fucking eliminate a loaf of garlic bread right now. Devour it. SEAL Team 6 style.
Sounds delicious, honestly.
New goal. The crew makes garlic bread.
So, question answered, and we are with Bert. Bert, you are down here in this, what seems like to be a familiar area. You've been here a few times. You don't really pay attention to much, though. And you've just been chasing around this fox.
Where you going, Pretty Fox?
And the fox will
Bert
go,
1, 2,
run
10.
up, jump on top of your head, bounce up to over, bounce up to over here.
No control.
Oh yeah, we never did go over that last time.
Why Pretty Fox go up there?
And the fox
Come
is
down here.
mewing like a fox would.
Bert 1, 2, pet.
And Bert, you're suddenly going to remember your friend Ilarian and the fact that you haven't seen him in a while.
Wait. Where L? Bert be back. Bert go find L. You stay, Pretty Fox. Bert go find L.
So the fox gestures to you as it rubs up and down against you, and it just says, it just is trying to pull you in a different direction to head this way.
Bert need go back. Bert follow Fox.
And the fox is
You
going to
take
get
me
over
to
here,
L? Bert?
and it's going to touch its nose, and you're going to see a nice flash of blue light. And while that happens, in the center of the room, it seems as if a portal opens up. And the fox just comes around without speaking, just seems to gesture there, shaking its head up and down in approval of you.
L there? Or go through, go find L.
And as you're jumping through, you just hear a slight giggle.
Huh?
Bert, you are immediately transported back to the catacombs, in which you know the way to get out of. I would say that most likely you would do what you normally would in these cases and try and make your way back to the grove from where you're at, towards the inner sanctum of the grove. And now
We're gonna go back home. We're
we move
hungry.
back over to our party, who have just taken a long rest. Everybody is starting to wake up, and I'll leave you guys here and see what you do next.
About time I got to rest for a few hours. Hello there, everybody.
Good morning, Gina. How are you?
Now I am well rested. And how do you fare?
Yes, the same. I was quite exhausted from all of our recent journeys. A little too much fighting. Not so used to it anymore. Shall we check on the others? See if they're up?
Yes. And Joe still seems to be quite out of it.
Shocker.
You guys will notice Joe's definitely
Daisy.
knocked. Even if you try to wake them, it seems like as they're waking up, they just stare blankly at you and then close their eyes again.
Well, have a good rest, Joe. Seems you'll need it. Misha? August? Are you up? No, seems they're
It seems they're out of it as well.
Morphus?
Yeah.
Oh, well, good morning there, August. How are you?
The old one is slow to respond as expected.
I was sleeping. What is it?
Well, figured might be time for some breakfast.
Yes, the new day dawns.
Another day alive, I suppose. What have you got to eat?
Well, not much. We've always just ate rations here. There's plenty, and I'll just gesture over to kind of the bottom right of this inner circle, where there's barrels and barrels of rations that have just kind of been sitting there. There's an excessive amount because we usually have to feed Bert. So, well, down there's tons of rations, enough for at least this morning and any other time we stop by. Try not to eat it all. Bert will be very upset. Should he return home, that is.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
Yes, he always has.
I have a feeling your friend will return soon.
Morphus, are you up?
Yeah, I've been awake. Don't really have to sleep the full 8 hours like everyone else does. I've been up.
Did Tree
Everyone
eat one of your
else.
toes?
Not that I know of. I've still got all the 10 toes.
I can eat
Got 10
toes?
fingers.
Whose toe?
No, Tree. I was just
Eat Joe's
checking to make
toe?
sure you didn't. If you must.
Not Joe's. You already well, we might be losing another toe.
Joe's toe was delicious.
Just not.
Don't
yourself
have a lot of
big toe
fresh
if you
meat.
do. Maybe the baby toe from Joe, if you must take one.
Pinky.
Yes, the pinky.
But
Just to get that little bit of freshness.
Joe won't be mad.
Joe's always bad.
Yeah, Joe doesn't ever seem happy, if I'm being honest.
Joe was very mad.
Well, I'll let you
Just
make
make
the
sure.
decision.
If you do the opposite foot. That's all I'm gonna say.
I stand over here again, and I cast detect magic on my eye. Has it been 8 hours?
Yes.
Okay, I cast detect magic without any issue then. And I'm going to look across the party again.
Okay.
Please tell me if I start cutting out, by the way.
Very similar to the last time. I would say that you definitely noticed dots of that magic about pretty much everyone here. Surprisingly, even Misha seems to have a few speckles of this dark magic surrounding her from your time down in the catacombs. But Tree is glowing with it, and Chiuna seems like his hands have a lot more of that residue than anybody else.
Does it look like it's spreading?
No.
Okay. But it's definitely sticking.
Yeah, almost as a residual dirt or dust that you might not be able to normally see.
Have I seen anything like this before?
Most likely not. And you would notice the traces of what seems to be improper dark energy. That's why you can tell that it's a dark form of magic, but it doesn't seem to be something that you've encountered yet.
Dark magic. Okay, maybe not the specific type of dark magic, but have I encountered dark magic in the past?
Absolutely. Based off of your backstory alone, yes.
Could you tell me a little bit about maybe what exactly I'm dealing with when it comes to dark magic? And if too much of it was to get into someone, what might happen? I'm guessing explosion, but we'll get to that when that happens.
I would say that as much as I can tell you in this moment, that your experience with it at least garners you the knowledge that it's not something that you primarily want to be around, given your own experience with it. It definitely puts you off, makes you at ease. Not at ease.
Okay. A part of me, like, you see August, like, kind of like with his finger, like, pecks at the flecks of dark magic around Misha's aura whilst they're asleep. He's like trying to pick them off of them. But that's all you see from him.
Also, a lion. I mean,
You go.
Oh,
I didn't
one
even
thing I
mean to
failed
say
to
that.
mention. The one glowing person who seems to have no form of that dark magic on them whatsoever is Usagi. And with your detect magic, you do notice that she seems to be glowing with the embodiment of what would be considered more of a light magic.
Okay.
So Giuna headed back this way, picked his spear back up that he had lain down for the long rest, and then grabs just like a single apple from the barrel of rations and opens up his book. Think you know which
Valarian,
book I mean?
in similar fashion, is just grabbing a ration, like basically enough food to get him through at least the first half of the day.
Yep, there's plenty there.
And I assume you know which book I'm talking about, right, Vaughn?
I do assume then, so you're reading from the Book of Many Wonders.
Yes.
1 second. It has been after a long rest. Why? Okay. So, just 1 more second. I'm sorry. Having a problem with my notes, so I'll just go to. I've already made this an item. Just go to our campaign. Just need to see roll chart for that. I can set up. All right, that's it. So roll a d10.
D10. That is an 8.
So you stumble upon a story, and the story is titled, "Does Gold Really Even Matter?" And in this story, you see a very poor man beginning his journeys, and he's fighting to claw his way to the top. And after many years, he does. But doing so, he's forsaken friend, he's forsaken family, he's forsaken morals. And by the end of this story, he is one of the most wealthy men on the planet. But he has no one else around with him to share any tales. And go ahead and everybody within the party add 10 gold to your inventory.
Do we
Cha-ching.
feel this gold be added, or
You will notice something is different that is going on because you all are also going to take disadvantage on any charisma checks for the next hour.
Lovely. Next hour. That's rough.
my purse seems to have gotten a bit heavier? Do you know what
Yes,
is
and-
that? Is that the Book of Many Wonders you're reading again?
Yes, indeed it is. It seems to have quite a few different things that happens upon reading.
What was your story today?
The story was, does gold really matter? And
Well,
it depicted a poor man who lost his way, but gained much wealth.
well, it seems he's shared his wealth with us today. Kind of looks at it and notices that his purse is just a little bit heavier than it was. Doesn't know exactly how much is there, but sees that there's more than there was last night. Well, appreciate that. Hopefully there's no ill effects that come along with it.
And that would be rather ugly.
Tree, have you decided on if you're consuming a toe, or would you like some jerky?
I don't want to upset Joe. Joe was mad. I'll take jerky. But if you could please bring me back food.
Yes, I will do my best. And I throw 3 pieces of jerky and then just let the group know. Well, I'll be back in just a few minutes. I'm going to see if there's any rabbits around for Tree.
Would you like any help?
Fresh meat would be so wonderful.
Come along, maybe we can find us a couple of rabbits.
Yes, more
If
fish
you'd like.
tuna if you'd like. Feel free. And very similarly, just gonna go to about here. Well, maybe like here. Can I roll investigation, survival, something like that to see if there's any wild? It doesn't have to be a rabbit, but like any wildlife that's particularly easy to kill.
Just roll a survival check for me.
Perfect. 13.
You do see off in the distance, I would say if you're paying attention, about right over here, a small rabbit.
Where? Sorry, I didn't see the ping. I don't know. It just didn't come through. Okay. And really quickly, I'm just going to cast Frostbite on it and try to, like, freeze it in its tracks.
Okay. Is Frostbite rolled a hit, or is that a...
It
Save.
needs a Constitution save.
Does not pass that.
Okay. Do you want the damage, or is it just frozen?
Go ahead and roll me the damage.
4.
Yeah, it is frozen in its tracks.
Perfect.
Nicely done there.
Thank you. And I'm just going to pick it up, and I'll let the others know.
I'll see if there's any more this way.
Yes, if you guys would like to check around, I'm going to bring this one back to tree.
And
Wait.
meanwhile, Bert is
Bert.
making his way up to the grove.
Bert, is that you?
Bert,
Oh no.
Bert made it back. Bert found Pretty Fox.
Not your stories about the fox again, Bert. Wait. Where did you find this fox?
In the when we jumped through big spot.
Oh no. You
Hmm.
don't suppose that that's...
That's almost
He
undoubtedly
followed Pretty
Elvira.
Fox around. He wanted pet Pretty Fox. L.
You're not hurt though, Bert.
Bert fine.
Oh.
Luckily, she's not aggressive if she sees no harm. Oh. She sees no ill intent, and Bert is not one to have ill intent.
No, rather gentle giant he is. Well, Bert, come along. I must bring this rabbit to tree, and
Bert
I have some
hungry.
new friends for you to meet.
Bert eat.
Yes, we'll get you breakfast as well.
Morphus, what are you doing up there?
And if there's any animals up here.
Roll a survival check.
Bert get food. Bert get food first.
8.
I just sort of like eyes trace him as he walks right past me, and I go, "Excuse me."
That
Introduce
there,
you
that would be Bert.
Ooh,
Morphus,
good.
your 8 on survival does not yield you anything. Sorry. Go
Okay.
ahead, guys.
Well, before anything, I'm gonna just look at tree, hold the rabbit up, and kind of just toss it like a little bit of a lob to him, and hopes that he catches it.
And he catches it well. Says, "Oh, popsicle rabbit. Yummy."
Yes, I made a cold one for you. Didn't want it to soil or be not so
Mhm.
good for you, so we preserved it.
Fresh
Nice and fresh.
food. Thank you.
And yes, Misha, August, this is...
Oh,
this is basically
oh,
my
look.
brother.
It's a tiny old Bert.
Oh no, not this again.
Me
What-
like tiny old Bert. That's August on the head.
Oh. It's
Just
like an
be thankful.
overcast shadow where his eyes are. Just like. Yes, pleasure to meet you, Bert. I am August.
Oh, you tiny old Bert.
I suppose I am now tiny old Bert. Misha.
Yes, yes. You have a new friend?
Hello,
Wait.
little one. Little purple.
Hello.
Me
We have the
Bert.
3 Bert Kateers here now.
The
Hi,
free
Bert.
Bert Kateers.
Oh yes, sorry about that, August. Anyone who's bald, he seems to think is, well, himself.
Well, that's quite fine. Is he okay? Has he got like any magic on him or anything? Can I tell if detect magic that would still be up?
This is just regular Bert. You can check if there's any magic, but I don't think so.
If detect, I'll for flavor, I will say that detect magic is still up, and Bert is as clean as Usagi.
Hmm.
No traces.
What? Pure, pure soul you are. What a rarity.
Yes, Bird is a great human. Well, not so much human, but you know what I mean. A great being.
Stature of a Goliath.
Yes, well, he's basically been my brother for as long as I can remember. He's a wonderful soul, has helped me through many things. Never seen him tainted by much of anything, if I'm being honest.
Bert like L. Bert stay with L.
Yes, except for when you go following your fox friend. Says it loud enough that
Bert likes
everyone
pretty
can hear it.
fox.
Yes. August,
Haven't-
may I have a word real quick?
Oh yes, of course.
Just gonna pull August aside from the group. Just far enough that, like, a subtle, quiet voice they can't hear, ideally. Well, you see, Bert might have befriended Lyra in her fox form. I used to think he was always telling stories about the fox that he ran around and played with, but he mentioned that he encountered this fox again down below in the crypts. So, just leave you with that information, and yes, did you see any magic on him, by the way?
Oh no, he's a very pure soul.
And how about the rest of us?
I sort of like I look at you, and from what I remember you saying, Fallen, Ilarion didn't have anything on him, did he?
Bits and pieces. There's definitely small dots of that magic energy, or dark magic energy, just as if, I'd say the same amount as your apprentice.
It's like a little bit of a speckling.
It seems that her magic is like a growing cancer. It's spreading out and touching all of you.
Hmm.
You've got some on you as well. Can he dust your shoulder off? You'd be best to try and keep your talks with her to a minimum. As in my experience, Alarian, dark magic is changing in what it does to people. And he looks past you towards you, like the orb in the grove, and he says, the things that you may once have wanted to protect can become secondary to what you now want due to its influence.
Yes, well, I've been wanting to keep more distance from Lyra. I don't know, I'm very conflicted as to what I'm doing right now, whether it's to help the Grove, to help Lyra, to help, God forbid, the King. The only thing that seems to remain important is the Grove and Bert, and even that has been wavering slightly, so I believe I feel the effects that you're mentioning, so I will do my best to stray from Lyra in the near future.
Sacrifice not what you hold dear, and steel your mind and think of those that you care for. Dark magic preys on one's insecurities, the things that would make you scared, those that you could lose. It's like a threat, almost.
Maybe that's why she's taken Bert every now and then.
A
Well,
good theory.
You mentioned that I have traces of this dark magic. How are the others looking? Giuna, Joe, Morphus, even Tree?
Tree is... He narrows his eyes a little bit, and he looks between Tree and then he looks to Juna. And then he says, Tree is completely malformed by it. Their body is filled with the magic. I do wonder if that is a fate that lies for all who are corrupted by it.
It does make sense, seeing as, well, I mean, he's no longer the boy I once knew. He's now a mimic, so this is reasonable.
Exactly.
And would you say like the peering past tree to Giuna was pretty noticeable, or?
Yeah, he's kind of like thinking almost. Each of you has some form of the magic upon you.
Would you say Morphus, after the bite with Lyra the fox, is he filled the most?
I look at Morphus.
Unlike Tree, it's not this engulfing sense, but it's a aura that sits around him. And it's definitely more than anybody else in the party.
It's volatile. It hasn't consumed him, as if it has with Tree. It's not trying to change him. It's just simply trying to infuse him with power, coating him. Think of it. He strokes his chin like an enchantment.
Yes. Well, have you, across all your times, ever figured out a way to dispel any types of dark magic?
He looks a little bit disheartened at that, and he looks at you. And I'm going to look at you falling out of game, and I'm going to say, probably not, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, if you had that kind of knowledge, you probably already have perfected your immortality, right?
Yeah, exactly, because he looks at you and he says, the reason Lyra cannot corrupt me, my boy, is that I am already fully taken by Anala. If I knew exactly how to dispel or use this dark magic, I would not be standing within your grove.
Well, I know you weren't here for it, but do you believe that the fate of Morphus is destined to be the same as our dear friend Tremor, who, well, he exploded in town. You remember hearing that?
You bring it up, it sounds almost comedic. You remember our friend who exploded?
I will say he's got a pretty serious face on. I know I do see how it came across that way. But
yeah, it's obviously I'm not laughing in character. I imagine due to certain circumstances out of game, it looks pretty concrete, does it not?
If you're asking me, yes.
Yeah. Okay. I say the only real things I could say is maybe some overpowering magic would be able to cast it off of him, but he is fully engulfed by it, and it is that goddess's fault. I do not know if you could save him now.
very well. Unfortunate. He's seemed like a rather kind soul the few days I've known him. Though I must admit, not to be rude, I'm not very attached to him just yet. I wish him the best, and hopefully we can at least use it in a way that will be beneficial. Tremor's death was rather unfortunate and basically for nothing.
How would you use it?
Well, I haven't quite thought of that yet. My optimal situation was, of course, just unfortunately, to do Lyra's bidding and bring him back to the king's tomb, and if it works the same as last time, Giuna, he holds the power to detonate it when he sees fit.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to run a second attempt at this. Do you have other suggestions?
If you do the same thing, do you think it will have a different outcome?
It depends. If I know a god, which I don't know many, I'd never really encountered, only heard from the stories. I don't think that they're typically unintelligent, to say the least, so you would think they would bring, well, more power the second time around if something failed.
Hmm. Did you ever think that maybe she'd used all the villagers for this sort of thing before? Perhaps she gets a kick out of it.
No, I hadn't thought of that. I just assumed she took them and turned them into other beings, such as Tree, Mimic,
Tree.
and the Dryads. I believe they are also servants of Lyra.
It is up to you. If you desire to save your friend, I could imagine that perhaps the life orb may be of assistance.
Y'all are having quite the long conversation down there.
Yes, would you prefer we come up there?
And it might end up being beneficial to everyone.
Very well, we can inform you of what we've been speaking of. Nothing too secretive. Just didn't want Morphus to get disheartened. Well, Morphus, I'll be blunt with you. How are you? Well, let's start here. How are you feeling today? Still with the power of God?
I mean, I could probably fight a god. I mean, will I win? Doubtfully. Honestly, doubtfully, but I might stand a bit of a chance. I mean, I'm as strong as Bird over here.
That's debatable. Bert's very strong. Although I did see what you did with the pew. It was rather impressive. Well, not see, but heard. And after
And
seeing
saw the
it back in
results.
yes, I definitely believe. Well, I'll be blunt with you. The power that you hold, I do fear it's the same as our old dear friend Tremor, and that you may be a weapon of Lyra now.
It is indeed, though, a bit different. And I, just to confirm with you, Fawn, I still don't feel the energy to be able to, at will, cause it, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And what do you mean by different this time, Juna?
I mean, you see, last time, I seemed to have full control. This one felt, quite honestly, did feel a bit more powerful, but is also without my control. So, I know not when this could happen and what could happen.
No way. Let me get
Dare
this
I say,
straight.
it does still feel the same.
I'm gonna go boom.
I do fear that could be the case. I'm no master of godly magic or tampering. But yes, that's what happened to Tremor.
I mean, but is that such a bad thing, right? Like, I mean, from my understanding, it's different. Like, there's something different about what's happening to me compared to what's happening to Tremor. Was he able to pick up a church pew and throw it and shatter it into nothingness?
Well,
Absolutely
you see,
not.
Tremor was a bit more calm than you are, if I'm being honest. He never really tried.
I mean, yeah, fair enough, but
Could
It
I make
could-
a suggestion?
Yes, please.
Do you want to live, Morphus?
I mean, living is nice. I mean, I kind of have goals in mind, like that I was working towards, but not 100% sure how that's gonna go down if I go boom.
Perhaps delivering a book might help. And I just look over to Ilarion.
I smirk under my, kind of make a little giggle under my breath, and then ask August to continue on.
Magic works on the simple premise of strong overpower strong. It's actually very simple. Counterspell works on this same sort of initiative. If the magic has not fully consumed you, Morphus, if we can find a stronger magical source than what is lingering upon you, we may just be able to remove it.
Okay, well, even if that be the case, the only thing that I know of that may be stronger than a goddess's power, might I add, is floating behind you. And I don't know if she's just gonna let us have the life orb. I don't know what that does to the grove.
It's not having it; it's using the power.
Okay, but then you got to ask yourself the question: what happens to the grove if we do that?
The one thing I will say too, one of our former members did attempt to take this orb, and they had quite the shock, so to say.
I mean, taking it maybe, yeah, that would probably not end very well. But I mean, if she willingly lets us use it, then maybe not. But still, I don't know what would happen to the grove if we used it. Like, it could cause the grove to die.
Power is something that doesn't recharge. If it's based upon life energy, it will come back in time.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I understand where you're coming from on that, but still, that could possibly leave the grove unprotected like it is for a period of time until it does recharge.
The Usagi is quite strong.
At this point, I'll say you guys probably noticed Alarian's walked away. And just going to look to Usagi. Madam?
Oh, Alarian, yes. Yes, dearie. What can I do for you?
Yes, can the Orb of Life be used for things other than protecting the grove?
Well, short answer yes, long answer no. Salandra says to protect the orb and that it should remain within the grove, and this is what I shall do.
Yes, of course. Is it able to potentially dispel some magic from a friend of ours?
Well, I'll tell you, I've been trying with Tree and it's not working. I don't know the spells. And honestly, I'm beside myself, because if the Laundra was here, I feel like we would already be making way more headway with Tree, and I apologize. I know Tree was a good new young man to the Covenant of Druids that we have here, but I can't get him back. And I'm sorry.
Well, no, it's okay. No need to apologize, madam. I do have another question. When exactly did the Laundra leave, if you remember?
I would say about 4 moons ago.
And are you certain that she'll be returning? Not to bring up the worst case, but...
At this point, I'm not.
Are you aware of how to become the new Archdruid if she's to not return?
Unfortunately, I fear the power of something like that. I might know. I may have been given the route and what I should do, but I should just protect the grove. No, I should never. The Lander will be back. Of course, she will be back.
I'm just gonna shout over. August, Giona?
Yes?
Could you come here for a minute? Please?
Look at you now. I'll walk over with
Oh, my way. Guess I'll make room for...
Don't mean to disclude the others. If you'd like to invite them over yourself, you can. But I was asking, and it seems Usagi and the Life Orb may be unable to help us. So if there's any questions that you guys have for her to maybe, or suggestions even, the only thing I will add is that the orb is not to leave this grove, nor the area it's located right now, above the ley line.
How deep is its power, Usagi?
Well, as far as what's been handed down to the elders, we do know that the power of this orb extends the Grove's power into the city, and we've been able to make differences before Lyra showed up. We've been able to make differences in people's lives and provide them with an essence of magic. And, you know, the king, he used this for his gambling halls and his brothels and whatever so minded you to him, but we've used this to fuel the life energy around these areas for centuries. Beyond my time, beyond Philandra's time, the oldest archdruid of the land, Sir Noble himself, he started everything here. He's the one that brought the life forward.
So it does seem doesn't quite reach the city the way it used to, or shorter, whatever. Have you by chance pulled it back closer to the grove?
Oh yes, of course. Everything is centered around the main parts of the grove.
I dare say that's probably the safest thing for the grove itself, of course. Quite frankly, I think our best bet is, as unfortunate as it may be, sending Morphus off. I have quite the strong feeling that once he enters the king's tomb
Would you like an
is
example?
when it goes off.
I'll show you something.
That would be amazing.
I'll show you something that I remember. Philandra is really good at this. Mind with me. And she will start to put her hands out towards the circle, and you'll see this life orb raising up out of the ground as she's chanting in a Fae speak. Anybody who does recognize this Fae speak will notice that the chants are mainly about preservation and being true to oneself. And during this, everybody feels a slight glow around themselves where you're granted 2 temporary hit points. This is a spell that I've been using with Tree and trying to potentially bring back some of his former memories and hearten him up, because he eats a lot. I catch him many lizards, and he wants to chew on toes. He's very, very hard to take care of.
Yes, that is an unfortunate fixation that our former members gave him.
August,
But luckily,
looks a little bit frustrated.
I mean, I know it's seeing his frustration. I know it's not good, but I think at this point it's a matter of preserving ourselves first.
I do have a question for you two.
Yeah.
Do you think it would be fair to ask Morphus how he would like to blow up, whether it be the king or potentially somewhere in Lyra's tomb, or if he has his own goals?
If you wish to, if there's nothing that can be done, then
Well, he did
that would be
proclaim
ideal.
to-
What are you all
He did
talking
proclaim
about
to
there?
be a follower, but
What was that, Usagi?
What are you all talking about there?
Well, Morphus, he was bit by who we can only presume to be Lyra, as her fox form, and ever since he's been different, similar to Tremor in the past.
but a bit more powerful too.
So, I do have some knowledge to give you here. If Lyra
Yes,
wants
please.
you all to truly blow up the king's tomb, she stares over at Daggers and Ilarion and is just looking at her, looking back and forth between Giuna and August, almost seeming to like get a confirmation from your eyes that they're trustworthy as she's prattling on. If you'll see, the way that the king was brought up, he was such a lively young lad. Do you shoot back any kind of sign of trust?
Yeah, I was just waiting for you to finish that sentence. I do kind of give her like a very endearing look with a head nod kind of thing. Just like knowing that's what she's looking for, I just kind of tell her yes. And actually, I'll use the telepathic feat to go right into her brain and let her know that, like, yes, I do trust these two.
Well, you see, King was a very dishonest and mistrustful. Many of us truly only did what we needed to for the sake of the grove to grow bigger, and in fine we wished for better things. After the king said that he brought riches, he found a way, we knew something was wrong from the beginning. But he did come to us. He did pay us many wealths to help. And in our times, this is probably the biggest regret of the grove, was to provide him with any knowledge that we had. The Landra spoke of a magical artifact that I've never placed my eyes on, but if the king is alive to this day and speaking well from his tomb, then I must trust that it is real. It is an artifact that grants immortality, something that allows you to be without being. And I have no idea the extent of this power, but it's said to rival the life orb that we have here. That must be what Lyra is after. Giving her such an item, I don't know if that's the smartest deal.
Well, that is, if I'm honest, August, that artifact, that's what we've been looking for. Not our main journey or anything along those lines, but that is what I promised the king I would go back and get his book from the catacombs, or the crypts, whichever you may. And, well, Giuna had told me, and sorry if this is breaking any trust, Giuna, but I feel we can trust August. He told
Speak
me...
away. He's an old fool, but he's a good one.
Yes, yes. Giuna told me the book was no more, and the king had offered that should we bring him the book he was after, that he would provide us with this artifact. And the intent was never to give it back to Lyra. The intent was, well, if I'm being honest, for myself, I wanted to bring it back to the Grove and leave it with Madame Usagi, as she is the most trusted person I know, and she's provided great protection for at least the last 3 years of this grove, if not many, many more with the aid of the other previous elders. And so yes, I would like to, at the very least, retrieve this artifact, as I feel it could give us some type of leverage over, should it be the king or Lyra, either
It
party.
will be both of them if you pull this off. That is a
Yeah.
piece of information that puts me slightly more trusting of you.
Yes, and I do apologize for being so dishonest. I
It is
wanted
fine.
to the Grove
It is
first.
fine.
Make sure that you weren't going to do anything crazy, and it seems you and your apprentice have been very trustworthy yourselves, so I felt it only right to provide you with just about as much information as we have, though, if I'm honest, I'm still quite confused in all of this matter. Giuna's been on this journey a little longer than myself.
Perhaps. August taps his chin. I still don't like killing an innocent man. But death is not the end for the young.
And, well, who knows? Perhaps he can be preserved afterwards, and we may
Yes,
be able to bring him back.
Didn't you preserve that other fellow, the young fairy? Perrin, was it?
Yes, The hardest part about that is his head is separated from his body.
Ah. This
Granted, I have
reminds
to.
me of a time.
Oh no, not again, old man. None of your stories right now. Let's return to the group for the time being. We can hear your story later.
Well, to all of you,
Start.
just know, as long as you all are on the side of the growth, you have my protection.
We thank you,
The
Miss
Grove's the
Usagi.
evil one. So this whole time.
That'd be fucked. My whole world would get shattered. Don't even mention that. I'm gonna walk back to the group though.
Trust nobody. Be old. Be skeptical. Be paranoid. Okay.
Well,
Take it.
hello there,
post
everybody.
back.
Ooh, what's
Thank
that?
you,
Sorry
Miss
about
Usagi.
Just wanted to fill Usagi in, as she is my elder, and I did also ask about the life orb and whether it could be used to help our friend here. And again, I'll be blunt. Morphus, it seems your fate is pretty sealed. So I do have a question for you. Should you, well, explode? Is there any way you'd like to go? Anything you wish to accomplish? Would you prefer to blow up Lyra's tomb? Personally, I'd love if you could potentially blow up the king's tomb, as there's an artifact that we wish to retrieve.
Isn't that artifact, if I remember correctly, because I was in the room whenever this conversation was being had, so if I remember correctly, isn't this artifact like make you immortal or something? Like, or
I'm not exactly sure if that's the full terms of it. I know it helps with immortality. It keeps you on this plane, to say the least. Whether it is, you no longer are in the physical, but you're not gone either.
Yes, because as you can see, the king himself,
yeah,
not exactly. He's there, but he's not
not
all
here.
there. And that's not just to talk about his body either. His mind seems to be a little off.
Okay, well, why don't I throw out a suggestion?
Yes.
Since I'm having to sacrifice myself anyways, for either way it goes, why not try to, instead of me going down there and handing him the book and then going boom, make him give me the artifact before I ever hand him the book. Make him hold up his end of the deal. If it's the book or not, I don't know if it is or not. I don't care in the slightest, honestly. I'm probably going to end up dead by the end of this. Make him give me the artifact first, then give him the book. And then if I go boom, I may have the artifact. But then again, that also puts an end to him too. So then the artifact's just kind of chilling down there. Someone just has to go get it. But if I survive it to a certain extent, then we've got the artifact.
Well, how persuasive are you? Because
I
I've
had to
tried,
be.
and the king. Well, the king's only interested in a trade 1-for-1, and I did try talking to him before we had the book, and he was not willing to budge. However,
Well, no, if I have the book in hand, like I ain't gonna, I'm not, me just physically not handing him the book. Like he sees me carrying the book. I've got the book in hand, but I want the artifact before I hand him the book, because for what I've heard, the king's not been too great on his word.
yes, correct. The king is an awfully large liar, if I'm being honest. At least from everything I've ever seen. Yes, I can, and I'm gonna hand Morphus over the Everybody Poops book. Here's the book. You can tell him that, because obviously this is not the real book, it was destroyed. You can try to lie to him and say that it is just masked by Lyra's magic. That would probably be the easiest way. Whether it works or not, well,
Who knows?
that's
Maybe
up
he
to him.
titled his. Maybe his original book was titled the same thing to throw people off. And we just got really lucky.
I remember he had another title. I just can't remember what it was. Unfortunate, horrible memory sometimes.
No, you are right. I don't remember either, but Just speaking hope.
I mean,
Of course.
I only throw this out there because the fact is, if by some miracle of any damn thing, I do manage to survive this because I have said artifact, then it's a win-win. We get the artifact, I get to live. I mean, it is what it is at that point. But if not, then I'm gonna die. I'm gonna be dead anyways. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, if I was to choose to go and try to blow up like the catacombs or something, what is that gonna do? Especially like given the fact is, if Juna doesn't have control over making me explode, who's to say I'll even explode by walking in there? Because Lyra's gonna know I'm in there. She apparently kind of just knows where we are at all damn times, because she kind of just pops in and shows up and says hi. So probably wouldn't do too much.
And
the
also,
only
who's
thing
to
that
say
I have to
even-
request. Sorry, good Juna, you go.
I was just gonna say, who's to say that he even gets a chance to interact with the king at this moment?
Yes,
I mean, yeah, that's also a risky game of I walk down, I may just go boom as soon as I walk down there. But at the very least, it's an idea where maybe something good comes out of it.
Yes, there's many variables, it seems.
Except for the fact,
right. You do have to go to the King's Tomb. I think that's the only way that it will
that's what I
detonate.
mean. Yeah, that's at this point, that's probably the only way it's going to detonate. But there's three options. The three options: either A, the king doesn't give it to me, I go boom, and then nothing happens, because, from my understanding, Trimmer went boom down there once, and it didn't work out very well. And then because he's still here, he gives it to me, I go boom, and then I miraculously survive because of said artifact. Or option C, he hands it to me, I go boom, the artifact gets destroyed, me and him are both gone.
Yes, see, the one issue with option C is, and I don't mean to say your life isn't as important as an artifact, I hope it doesn't come across that way. But in the grand scheme, I do feel we need that artifact. August and I have spoken, and, well, we need leverage over Lyra, and should the king not be destroyed, over him as well. And I do believe that artifact is really the only option there.
I mean, yeah, but basing off of what I've heard, and this is given what the king has said, I'm pretty sure the artifact is the only reason why the king keeps on being, like, even after the first explosion, that artifact is why the king was able to, rebuild the entire crypt down there after it got destroyed. So therefore, I feel like taking it may not be
Taking
something
it
that we
would
can just
most
do.
likely be the end.
Yeah,
Taking it would most likely be the end of the king.
And it would probably be the end of the king, but then again, I don't know if it's an item that, like, that artifact is something we'll get to keep, or it's been used on the king. It may be tethered to him, which means as long as the artifact is fine, the king will be fine. If I was to blow up and I had the artifact in hand and it destroyed the artifact, then it would destroy the king in it. But if it doesn't destroy it, then the king may still be able to come right back because the artifact is fine.
It seems, from what the king himself has said, and what I was told, the last words by Trema is that everything needs to be destroyed in that tomb for the king to be taken down entirely.
Okay, but given that information, the artifact is also a part of that tomb now.
I was
Which
about
would-
to say the same.
Yes.
If everything has to go, we may have to sacrifice the artifact.
But then again, why would
But it could
Lyra
also
want
be-
that artifact if it has to be destroyed? Which
I
leads into the
appreciate
fact that
the constant RP. We were supposed to go on break about 13 minutes ago, around that. So we're going to take our first break of the night, and everybody enjoy the thought there. We are lost in a debate. Enjoyable. And
No, we can't.
we are right back in the grove where we left off. We were just finishing up with some discussions, everybody meeting back up with the party here. And you guys will notice that Joe seems to start waking up from their deep slumber there.
Honey bird awake. need bird awake.
Well, it's about
was I off
time.
for?
Yes, Bert.
Tiny Bert, have you
Go
met?
ahead.
Oh, no.
Have you met old Tiny Bert?
Forgetting how tall you are. Joe just like tries like groggily wakes up and like gets up. Yes, I have met him. Thank you very much for asking. You need to learn personal space.
What that?
Something that you obviously don't know. As a
Okay.
parent, we're here. Glad we had this discussion.
Tiny Bert Grumpy L.
Well, did you give Tiny Bert a hug to make them feel better?
No, Bert, go do that. Bert,
No.
give hug.
No.
Bert, how intensely
Bert,
are you
no.
giving a hug?
I just know.
Crushes every bone in her body, Mortal Kombat style.
Just a normal hug?
Yeah.
Alright. Normal hug then.
Sounds ominous.
Normal
This
hug
is-
from Big.
Bert, make little Bert happy.
I'm gonna
Morning,
guess
Joe.
like
How
Joe
are
just
you?
slowly gives him a pat on the back. I feel great. What all did I miss?
Well,
back.
Tree tried to eat another toe.
What?
We didn't let him this time. You're fine. Don't worry.
Yes.
Joe's very good. Can I have a Johto?
Johto. Jotaro? Not joking.
Why is it every time that I fall asleep that one of you is trying to convince him to eat my toes? This is the third time. Stop.
Not. He was trying.
Technically, it was his idea. It was
We
Tree's
stopped
idea. He
him.
just wanted to.
Tree.
I dare say you are still under the curse of Perrin and Derlek's influence over Tree back then. They're the ones that pushed the idea.
You
Joe's
can't eat my toe. Yes,
How about-
Tree.
Joe, how about you flip a coin? Heads, he eats your toe. Tails, he does not.
I
Bert
think
like
that's a hilarious
game.
idea.
Tiny Bert play. Tiny Bert play. Tiny Bert play.
You-
The coin.
Why are you joining? You're seriously gonna make me do this, aren't you?
Well, you
Sounds like
have
fun.
free will, but everyone here seems to think it's a great idea, especially Bert.
Bert like game.
Fine, I'll flip a coin. But you will. I will get you back on this.
Joe's toast, delicious.
Reap what you sow, old man.
Ooh, this bald guy, I swear. Heads that he eats my toe and tails that he doesn't.
Roll a d20. Above 10 is tails, below 10 is a head.
Let's see.
Oh. It's an 18.
So it's tails.
Oh,
Look at, see, you still have your toes.
No! Toes!
Nothing wrong with a game of chance.
Would you look at this? I have one of his toes in my pocket, and I put like a ration with like minor illusion on it to make it look like one of Joe's toes.
Toes!
that isn't my toe.
Oh,
Okay, it's not
toe,
my toe.
toe,
Oh.
toe!
And I throw it at him.
That didn't taste like Joe's toe.
Oh, it
Really?
must have gone bad in my pocket.
You better watch it, old man.
I dare say there's some toes that probably could be up for grabs soon.
Well, yes, I do suppose. If we find any remains of Morphus, we could bring you some toes.
Oh my
Morpheus
god.
toes.
I just really
Just
like
being
Joe's
realistic
toes.
here.
He's not even dead yet, and we're already auctioning his toes off to the mimic.
Fresh meat is always good.
Well, why do you
Oh,
want
and
my
that's what-
toes?
We
This
have really
meat
nice
might be
toes.
blessed by the gods.
Well,
I think it's a compliment, Joe. You should take it.
Yeah, a very nice compliment. I love when a mimic wants to eat my toes. That's exactly what I want.
It was
Obviously.
high praise for me when the cannibal tribe said that my arm tasted quite nice.
You were.
Oh, you're saying you taste nice. Do you want to perhaps offer
cannibal?
try his... No, but Tree obviously is something of
I'll taste
a
anything.
meat enjoyer.
I mean,
Do you
hey,
have any
sure.
limbs to offer?
Not right at this moment. Maybe another time, True.
Okay.
Not yet.
Joe, I can't believe you flipped a coin to almost lost a toe. You're an idiot. Well, have we decided what we're doing, Morphus?
I guess.
It is your
we're
death.
going
It
back
is
to-
your decision.
I guess we're going back to the King's Crypt.
By the way, I look at my hand, Misha. You did
Oh.
quite a nice job there on my hand.
You're welcome. I'm glad you like it. I could do the other.
Very arts and crafty.
You know what? I could see that working out quite well.
Something that you lack.
Something. I'm sorry, Joe. What was that? And sort of like I grab you by the ear as you're sitting down.
Ow. Oh, nothing. I mean, listen, when you get to a certain age, it's hard to hear certain things.
Yes,
Maybe
it's
I was
hard to
getting a
hear
little
right
complicated.
now, and I twist your ear.
Ow!
Ooh.
You see, Joe,
Oh, ow!
I'm sure you seems you may have forgotten he is a good deal older than you. Like, I may call him an old fool, but that's a term I'm finding to be more of endearment than him actually being a fool.
The god
He's
respects my elder status, and you should too. And I pat your bald head, and then I walk around the corner.
Just with people with my bald head. It's not that bald.
Well, it's just
It's
as bald as
shining.
yours.
The word sparkly comes to mind.
Do you know? Shush.
We just get like a sun glare off of his head.
Well, very well. To the King's Tomb we go, I suppose.
Yes, so.
I will say one thing. I'm not going down there with Morphus this time. I went down with Tremor.
Oh, absolutely not. I
This
mean,
one seems too dangerous.
I would honestly suggest that I just can't go down there by myself, because I would hate to take someone out with me. Yeah, that
Office,
would suck.
how do you feel about your soul being trapped for resurrection at a later date?
What are you trapping my soul with? Or to, or
I'll have to decide on the way.
as long as it's not unpleasant, do you, bud?
Hey, Morphus. I have a good idea. Go on.
What's your idea?
See, I know you're gonna die and all, so I think we should try to find fireworks and stuff to tie to your body, so when you explode, at least it looks a little more pretty besides a bunch of blood and guts everywhere, you know?
I mean, yeah, but you're not able to see the explosion or the fireworks. They're going to be like underground.
I mean, we're gonna be at the top, we might see a little bit of color, you know? At least we know you exploded.
You can find fireworks on the way there.
Yes.
Sure.
old fool.
There's the tomb.
To the right, sir.
I
Okay.
see. Yeah, oh, yes, what is it?
I have an interesting question. And this is actually kind of going back to considering, the possibility of taking that soul.
Yes.
Do you by chance, and here, let me just show you. I reach in my bag of holding, pull out Perrin's head, still preserved.
Oh
Like-
my god. And
I also have the body in there. How well are you at, or maybe perhaps even Misha, at stitching back together?
Misha's better at sewing than me, but neither of us are necromancers. Can I have a look at that?
Yes, of course. You want to see the body too? And I start going into my bag holding for that.
I can ascertain what's killed him here. I'm pretty sure.
All right.
What I'm talking about isn't exactly resurrection. The art of putting the soul in an object is a bit like voodoo.
That's fair. I was considering perhaps the soul goes into this body if it was fixed up a little bit.
Okay, that would just be a talking head.
Okay. Is he a willing soul? Do you know?
I think if it's under me, he is.
Were you close?
Well, not super close, but he did proclaim to be my follower recently.
Nah, so you were close then. And he pats the head and he turns it to look at you and he says, given a bit of time, I'm sure I can help you with resurrecting him. But what I plan to do for Morphus is more of a stopgap measure, so that at a later date, when I find something that isn't as horrible as a blown-up carcass, I can maybe bring him back in something nicer.
Well, I mean, this carcass will be preserved for plenty of time. As you can see, it is still in pristine condition, preserved, not rotting or anything at all.
I feel like I'm a pod shop owner and you're trying to sell me the cock.
Anyways, well, here, let me slip that back in. We have 7 days remaining on that before I have to make sure I recast.
No, mint condition.
Do it.
That's
Unless, of course, I
very
can bring this
touching.
friend back.
You might be able to find something with Usagi to do that. Druids are notorious for being able to mess with the cycle of mortality.
Yes, this is true.
Right, we've got to get to that tomb. It's a valid question,
Indeed.
however. Right, come along. And, Juna, whatever
Yes.
you've done to yourself, when I point at your hands, the more of that magic you use, I don't mean to sound condescending, you will consume yourself with it, and whatever magic was once yours will be hers.
You know, I think I know exactly what you're reaching at. I do not disagree. So far, it's been used in self-preservation. For had I not used what she gave me before, I very much would not be here right now.
Right then. Seems you still have your wits about you, which is good. Right. Drag along, Misha.
Right.
You know what? You've not actually done a good bit of cardio in a while. This might be a good chance to train.
Do you want me to run there?
Yep, go on.
Mm,
I pull out a whistle out of nowhere and I blow it.
off I go then.
August looks back towards the life orb as he walks towards the exit.
Oh, welcome back, guys. You missed a wonderful game of tag that Joe and Bert were playing.
That was not fun.
me play tag with Tiny Bart. It's fun.
Knowing the
Bert,
circumstances,
man,
it was
it was-
probably Bert playing and Joe losing his cool
Running
and running
away.
off.
Yes,
Joe.
precisely. This is very entertaining to watch, though.
It was not.
It's
entertaining.
unfortunate I missed.
Can you guys make your normal journey towards the town? And what are you guys doing from here?
I think we want to be on the opposite side of the statue at best, once he goes down. Maybe even a bit further back than that.
Correct.
We felt the effects of the trembling from Tremor, or should I say the trimming from Tremor. And then this one I feel is going to be a little bit more powerful.
If I'm being honest, I would prefer to be more in the town square. But we can stay by the statue, that way we at least know when it's done. Well,
You guys should see yourselves on the town screen.
well, this way.
Alright.
August, Misha, for context, it's where you heard the last explosion, or around that area.
Ah. Lovely. Let's hope we don't run into her again.
It's a little
Oh,
strange
yes,
to be
you
back here
guys-
again.
I won't be
Lyra,
surprised if we
no?
do.
Did I look around as we get there for any types of
What
fireworks?
is that?
Ah, they're back again.
Bert, go hit one.
Are you sure? Don't
Aqua,
fall
what
this
were
way.
you looking for? Sorry.
Fireworks.
Don't one. Yes, sir.
Will you roll me an investigation?
It's
If she finds fireworks in a barren town, I'm gonna be baffled.
I got a nat 20.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Oh my god.
So you don't necessarily find fireworks, but along your way, and based on your own knowledge, you do find a lot of the components for fireworks. All you're missing are some of the dyes that would make the colors explode. You found enough based off of an explosion to make fireworks go off, but nothing to make it colorful.
So
Is
close.
this while we were walking?
Yeah.
Like pre-city? Okay, I know that it's kind of backtracked. Can I roll survival to see if I can find any berries?
Go ahead.
$23, nat 19.
You definitely find some blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries.
Misha, would these help with what you're trying to make? And I hand her over all of them.
Oh, let me see. Maybe I can make something work. Hold on.
Yeah, whilst you're looking, could you look for a doll for me?
Oh,
Yes, like a teddy bear or something.
okay. I'm gonna have to make another roll for that.
Yeah.
Another investigation.
Mhm.
13.
So you don't necessarily find a doll, but once again, you see enough components around. Some hay, some string. You could fashion together your own doll.
I'll definitely do that.
That's gonna be creepy. Or is it?
Decrepit doll for a decrepit old man.
I sleep with this at night. Is it weird that my apprentice made it? Definitely.
Well, at least you have the acknowledgement of it.
Not exactly my question, but just before we get into this, is there any rolls that have to be done for making the fireworks or anything? Or doll?
100%.
Okay.
Survival check on both.
Fallen, could you check DMs, man?
Got a 10 for the doll. An 18 for the fireworks.
Oh my god.
Creepy ass ugly doll. Some pretty damn good fireworks.
Oh my
While
gosh.
she was, while they were doing that, I don't know characters at this point. I'm trying to pinpoint who's playing who.
I would say as
Well,
you guys
they
are
were doing
making your
that.
way up towards the statue, you notice an unfamiliar scent of seems to be sweet aroma coming across and not quite in that state. If you guys will watch my ping, coming from this area over here. Something you guys haven't noticed yet. Almost smells like the smell of baked goods.
Can I investigate?
Absolutely.
Perception check?
Roll investigation. And also give me 1 second. I'm having an issue with my internet. Hold on.
That's completely fine.
Yep.
Okay, guys, I've been given the green light to put Morph's soul in a doll. I'd originally
Oh.
wanted to get you like a teddy bear or something, bro, but looks like
Yeah.
you're in the creepy fucking doll, bro.
If I could like randomly move said doll, like you'd be sitting there holding it, I just like make it look at you.
I think that could be a really like funny thing if you just want to like come in occasionally and be like, yeah, I moved the doll, or like message Fallen and be like, yeah, I want to move the doll,
It's so fucking funny.
because
It's actually a really good idea.
it also makes sure that you're like you don't just feel like jobbed out of a character. So if you wanted to, you can revisit Morphus.
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, I like that.
Everything is resolved.
Okay, I got a 13 on the investigation for the baked goods, but prior to that, Misha, you said it was a 10 for the doll, 18 for the fireworks?
Yeah.
Okay, so those are the rolls there, Fallen, if you want to go through that first.
So the fireworks are pretty much perfectly crafted. You would imagine that you would be able to set these fireworks off and not have any problems whatsoever. The doll that you crafted, on the other hand, is looking a little misshapen. It's seen better days, and it's a bit scraggly.
Perfect.
Nice.
And then, yeah, 13 for the investigation on the baked goods smell that's right in front of me.
As you look over, let's go over here. You will see a merchant just appear from nowhere.
Male or female?
Presumably male.
Okay. Well, hello there, sir.
Well, hello! Would you like
What-
some croissants?
Yes, please. How much?
Muffins? No, 1 gold apiece. Nothing extravagant.
Nothing extravagant. Oh boy. One.
Morphus, would you like a final meal?
Final meal. Oh my
Did you say a
god.
final meal? Well, at
No,
least
sir,
allow
don't
me
worry.
to reach into my... He reaches into a seemingly endless bag of holding, pulling out a very freshly baked blueberry muffin. Would you mind? Here, if it's his final meal, then give this to the young lad.
Could I have that as well as a croissant, please?
The croissant is 1
Oh.
gold.
Yes, of course. And I flip him 1 gold.
I have that muffin, like honestly,
Is there any other things you'd like to have there, Morphus?
I think I'd be fine with just this muffin. It's fresh enough.
August,
What?
Hand
is that you?
Hand
What
Morphus
else?
the muffin.
God, it's not Juniper, is it?
August?
Who are you? My memory's foggy these days. Do I owe you money?
Not quite. No, just an old friend, eh?
Old friend of what regard?
I have a couple of books. Some things for you to see. You're looking quite decrepit there, buddy. Have you not taken to selling baked goods? This is my thing nowadays. This is what I like.
Juniper, if that's you behind that skin, this isn't funny.
Wait, you don't like the smell of fresh croissants?
I don't like the smell of a cocky bastard hiding behind someone he's skinned and worn.
I didn't know what you're talking about, my old friend.
I only have one friend, and it goes back as far as time. What's in the muffins? I pick one up.
The muffins? That's just a little bit of a boost in my soul. And maybe God sent me here. Maybe
God sent you here.
maybe I could hear the things you were thinking, and I was told to just show up and help. Maybe just a little bit.
Alright, what's the game?
I step back with my little muffin, and I'm kind of like an investigation or like a perception check on this muffin to see if I notice anything about it.
Sure, go ahead.
He's doing
Which my
so.
investigation
You seem to know the Muffin Man.
Fucking hope I don't. And he looks sort of not angry, but kind of a little bit surprised and like skeptical.
I'm just gonna eat the muffin. I roll a
was that?
6.
You don't notice anything about the muffin.
I just eat the muffin.
You know the muffin man.
Just for the
Maybe
record,
he
at the
does.
mention of August saying what's in the muffins, I've tossed the croissant. I don't need the gold back. I've just tossed the croissant. It sketched me out enough when the old man said
Oh
something.
god. I look at you and I look at him, sorry. The muffin man. Can I roll an insight? Can I tell if this guy is actually who I think he is?
Go ahead and roll an insight.
That's an 18.
You clearly recognize that behind those eyes is your good old friend Juniper. But he doesn't seem to be his old self, as dastardly or as evil as he was. Seems like some part of him has been calmed, but you don't know why.
What's happened to you?
Well,
Killing babies not up your alley anymore?
Oh, it's still up my alley entirely. I mean, obviously, you know this. I don't have much of a means to mean anything to anybody. I just found my way in with a few said old friends.
Killing
And
babies.
now I need
So
to
you
sell
do know the
muffins
Muffin Man.
and croissants and baked goods,
I
and
know.
it's so wonderful, and I have a great time doing it. In fact, I think that you would have so much. Would you like to come and sell muffins with me?
She's bewitched you, hasn't she? How the fuck have you landed in this? Oh, that's hilarious. August doubles over and he wheezes and it's like air, like dust coming out of his lungs as he does it.
August, what is happening?
He points at him and he goes, "You got bewitched, didn't you?"
I don't. No word. Muff. I can sell you a good croissant.
I can see you fighting behind it. Oh yes, I would love a croissant, please, Juniper. Please sell me a croissant. Look at this selection.
It's 1 gold apiece. Thank you very much.
I take one of them. I'll save this for later.
I'll have you know that God sent me to have that muffin to help you all. Your own deity, your own beseechment brought me here.
Their god, or our god.
Our.
Did you mess up?
Ever so
What the
slightly.
fuck was in that muffin?
Oh, you stepped a boundary. I'm going to take a stab and say that you tried to kill a divine being or something, but I'm going to leave that behind for now. You got anything on druid spells with you?
Which kind?
I need something to do with ancient ley line magic, how archdruids control the center of groves, that sort of thing.
I could point you in the right direction. I'm an old friend.
That would be lovely. That would be lovely.
Well,
How many
okay.
croissants do I need to buy?
What, for you? Just one.
I hold up the one I'm holding.
That'd be 1 gold, please.
Yeah, and I give him the gold.
If you all will travel outside these lands, due east, you'll find yourselves within a valley of islands. A nice coastal region. Everybody's very pleasant there. I have a wizard friend. He is out on a lighthouse. He likes to keep to himself mostly, so if you show up and you ask for him, he'll probably tell you to leave. But just continue to remind him who we serve, and he'll speak with you.
Sure. I look at him and I say, "What did you do?"
Well, I may have tried to gain back some morality. I met an arcane witch. She beguiled me with a sense of some of my old former morals. Part of that makes me feel bad about things that I've done, but not quite. Would you like another croissant?
Right. I tap his hand and I sort of say, "I'll see you in a little bit, Juniper. Whenever what's happened to you is past, because I'm sure you'll be more than happy to speak to me about it in time. Right now, you saying the word croissant is like someone hammering a nail into my frontal lobe."
Obviously, old man.
Old man. We're leaving.
Exactly.
and I turn.
Surprising that that's the one that gets under his skin.
That's what does it? That's what does it?
Especially when I've called him old fool many times and he doesn't seem to bother by that.
At least you don't get your head
Maybe,
patted by him.
Must
it's
be
the
something with
croissants.
the croissants, or maybe the relationship with this individual.
Could be both.
Well, thank you for the meal, sir.
Juniper.
Goodbye.
No, thank you
So the
all for
muffin-
coming to
Oh,
the mystic, magical shop of bakeries. I'm here to serve and
August.
here to do well by all bakers.
If things go good enough, then I hope that was a good muffin.
And with that,
Yeah.
he turns and poofs out of your all's current existence.
Interesting fellow.
Oh, great.
So
August.
Always disappear like that.
he's got a bit of speed in his step as he's marching forward, and then as you call him back, he looks back at you and he goes, "What?"
You've gone way further than necessary.
Did you not notice these things?
The
Oh, for God's
creatures
sake.
seem to
Get
be
out of my
making
way.
no mention of you all. They don't actually seem to pay attention to you at all. They just keep walking up and down the length of this
These things have
building.
always been hostile in the past.
Bert pet.
Well, to be fair, we
no,
always attack
Bert.
them first.
How can Bert pet? Bert want to pet.
We could
One
try
second.
talking to them.
You guys just see Alarian's eyes kind of go blue. Anyone who's looking at him, that is. As I tell Bert, yes, you can pet if you want. Telepathically.
You want to speak with them, Misha?
Bert goes over to this one and tries to pet it.
It responds with,
Oh God.
That was horrid.
Aw, Bert made it happy.
Still eyes glowing.
Noticing no ill intent from Bert, it doesn't do anything else besides screech.
If you'd like, you can pet them all, Bert. Telepathically.
Bert pet
still.
them all.
You're
That's
met
the
by the
slide.
same guttural scream from each one. But they don't
Bert
seem
made
to
them all
attack you back.
Good.
happy.
Good job, Bert.
We can
You know,
go through. They know. They happy now.
Well, Bert, we're going to stay outside this time.
Yes, Morphus, you got the book.
And
I
August,
got
did
the
you
book.
say something about Misha wanting to talk to them?
Yes, I thought I heard Misha say that she wanted to speak, or he wanted to speak with them.
I'm good. They seem to only scream anyway. But I do need to give Morphus the fireworks, though. I think we should hide them under his clothes.
Yes,
Hmm.
that's a brilliant idea.
I go over before like I get handed fireworks. I go to August and he said something to me about putting me into a doll, like my soul into a doll. I'll take off the ribbon that I had been wearing, or like wrapped around my arm, and I can just give it to him. I was like, "Yeah, wrap this around that doll, because I don't want it
Hmm.
destroyed."
Very well. I wrap the ribbon around the doll. I do warn you, this will be a very uncomfortable process when it goes through.
Yeah, I kind of figured as much. Kind of
Well,
dives into magic.
In fact,
Can't be much
August,
more
you
uncomfortable than
recognize
an
that you would
explosion.
need to sit down with Morphus and perform this ritual in order to take his soul and put it into this, which would make you the main person controlling Morphus's vessel after he is no longer there.
Oh, that's horrific. I love it. And I say, yes, you're not actually going to experience the explosion, my good friend. I am.
Oh,
Are you sure you want to do that?
Yes.
All right then.
Oh.
I'm not stopping you beyond that.
He probably deserves it.
I'm a professional hater of the gods. Have
Oh.
it on my resume.
okay. So
Hilarious.
out of
Resume.
so out of character, make sure I understand this. We do this. I don't have control over my character anymore.
From the
Correct.
sounds of it.
Okay.
If you're okay with that.
Yeah. Anything I've come up with probably would backfire anyway. So yeah, I'm fine with that. Okay, so where are we putting these fireworks?
Oh, you should probably hide them under your clothes or something, because if you walk in with what looks like explosives, they might not be as receptive to you, you know?
You have a good bag.
It's like, yeah, let's just put them in my bag because
Actually, what do you have on you, period?
like, what am I carrying like right now? Like I've got my Skelmo armor that you see me wearing. I've got 2 daggers. I've got a light crossbow with some crossbow bolts. I've got alchemist supplies. Got some rations. I got a rope. I got a mess kit. I got a crowbar. I got a hammer, a holy symbol, a holy water, a mirror.
We could use
Oil.
the rope and tie them to him. Could we not? Underneath
Yes,
the
we
armor,
could
of
indeed.
course.
And probably hold on to those rations as well.
Oh, you're trying to take his possessions before he's gone. That's horrible, Gina.
To keep them just in case he does return.
Fair enough.
I instantly think the worst.
I mean,
To be
honestly,
fair, that's
if
very
I don't
Eldrin of him.
return, I mean,
Yeah,
honestly,
we
if
could
I don't
offer his
return,
clothes
can
up.
anyone wear like anyone? If anyone can wear this scaled mail armor, like it's nice and purple. I mean, I don't know if anyone wants it or not, but
Alas, it's not quite the color for me, though it is quite nice.
Agreed. I prefer blue. Apologies.
yeah, I kind of just went with purple. I thought it looked nice.
It looks very nice for
Purple.
you. It's just it doesn't remind me of the winter.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of for summer, or I mean for spring and summer, I guess.
Understandable.
And I guess if I ever took on a spring form, it would be useful.
Oh, Bert, your friends are back.
They've all surrounded Bert and they're just screeching at him. Nothing. They're
Oh,
not. They're not.
surrounded.
They're not coming off as intimidating or like they're going to attack, but they are doing the same screech. It's just very loud screeches.
Oh, Bert, they want more pets. Bert's the pet all of them.
Do they see him as their parent?
At least a friend, potentially, though.
Interesting theory.
Well, they give off baby birds from what I've noticed when my time in the forest. At least from the screeching. They are very loud. Sounds
Yes,
like you, old
You
man.
need to
What?
hurt my
They're very happy.
Joe, I'm gonna beat you with a stick. Get over
I don't
here. Yeah, it's like,
Joe's
I
running.
give you like a whack on the head before I like run out of breath and I go, you're lucky eyeball.
Anyways,
get
shall
you,
we
okay.
start tying these fireworks down?
Oh, right, yeah.
Tying fireworks to a dead man is diabolical.
And as I'm tying, as I'm helping Misha tie the fireworks onto him, I'm like, Morphus, you're doing a brave thing.
I mean,
Thank you for your service.
hopefully it works. I mean, hopefully it pans out a bit better than the last guy.
You still have the whole
Yeah.
issue of resolving your soul being trapped in Doll, which you had agreed
Yeah, we're
to.
just strapping him
Yeah.
up first.
Yeah, there's
Alright.
fireworks.
I think those fireworks are all set. Let's slip that. Start kind of patting him down, just try to make it all evened out.
Morphus, do you have any gold by chance?
I've got the 10 gold that was given to all of us earlier. That's
Would you
it.
mind
Honestly, I'm broke.
Would you mind handing that over to Juna as well?
I mean, honestly, yeah, he kind of might be deity at this point. I am a follower. He should get the gold.
Pay penance.
Pay pendants, and maybe it'll show that I'm not greedy. Maybe something will come about that.
Hmm.
Let me give
Good man.
Juna the 10 gold pieces that was in my inventory.
Starting to think I might need to reconsider what I am a god of. Anyways,
Oh yes, god of blowing up your followers, Juna. Very well.
I don't. It's not exactly what I was hoping. That's for sure.
Yes,
But,
So much for the god of free spirit.
Yes, now you
Put
see
that
why
down
I'm
at the
not
count as
religious.
2.
at this rate, I'm the god of explosions, and that's a little awkward.
Well, you do
Little.
free their
Explosion god
spirits.
dynamite.
God of free will, I suppose.
Now that has a good ring to it.
Bert
It
likes
doesn't
his
really.
pets.
You actually agree with me, old man?
I am a very good advocate of humans enjoying their free will, so yes, I do agree with you.
And quite frankly,
have
that's
agreed on-
more or less the idea I had all along. I don't want my followers to be stuck on. You know how some of those gods, they must always be worshipped 24/7, blah blah blah. That's not me. I want my people
No,
to
of
have
course
fun.
not.
Let him have his moment. I'll beat you with a stick.
Anyways, that's enough. That's neither here nor there. You all I know most of y'all don't even believe in that. Believe in me, I should say, and that's fine. Anyways, what were you saying you had for rations again there?
I have a day's worth. And honestly,
I
here,
should probably have that as well.
yeah, I'm gonna give you that. I have one. Actually, I've got 10 days worth, but um, I'm going to give you that. Make sure Tree gets some rations.
Yeah, that's honestly what probably about a quarter of what my rations have gone anyway.
At least you haven't lost a toe.
I give him my 10 days worth of rations.
All right, and August.
Yes.
Earlier, you were able to disguise some things as a toe. Do you think you could disguise that book as... I try to rack my memory for what the king told us the name of the book was.
Everybody poops.
For flavor, we'll just say that you remember the exact name of the book the king was looking for. That name being lost even on the DM, so don't worry.
Lost among the DMs. So I rattle off the name of the actual the original name of the book to him. Do you think that's possible to cover it up as?
I believe I could. The question is if they see through it, and also when they touch it, the illusion will dissipate.
Well, luckily, he won't be the one touching it. He'll only have visual until, well, I'm not sure until when, because he's ethereal after all.
Worth a shot.
It wouldn't hurt. I don't see why not. I mean, I'm just a voice of the matter.
Okay. I'm okay with casting this on it. Let me check the restrictions of the spell. There's always things to this. Mental. Minor illusion.
If I may suggest, you may want to do the ritual first.
This is true.
I
Yes,
don't
of
know
course.
much, but illusions only last a minute or two in their simplest form, do they not?
Oh yes. But the moment I go into that ritual, I don't think I'll be able to come back to my body, so I'll have to move quickly. We should do it closer to the tomb.
We are right outside the tomb. He just has to walk into, and I point over to this building here, where the ping is.
Okay.
Perhaps we could
Walk in
even
there
stop at the
and-
staircase?
Yes, if we head in, there is a staircase before we descend. That may be where you want to complete the ritual.
Okay, let's go there then.
I will remain out here if that's okay. Not a fan of explosions.
Yes.
Just
Misha,
a little bit.
drag my
Yes.
body outside after the ritual is performed. And make sure the doll is safe. That is the only thing keeping his soul in the material realm.
I understand.
Good lad.
Could always throw the
Sorry, what was that?
doll in. We could always throw the doll in this bag here. It's a bag of holding.
I need
It'll
it for the
definitely be
ritual.
safe in there. Well, I mean, after, of course.
Okay. Well, not a bad idea, actually. But it can get grating on the senses if you're just a doll sitting in a void of space. Right, Morphus. Let's get this done.
All right. Given that, we will go on our next break for the night.
Ooh.
I hope you're okay with this, Morphus. Or sorry,
Full
Lego.
transparency. Full transparency.
Yeah.
And we are back
Yeah.
from our break. We were just getting into August, speaking with Misha about getting things set up for his ritual that he was about to perform.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Morphus, follow me.
I sure
Drag-
hope that Lyra doesn't need the soul for this. Because this could end up being really awkward.
Oh boy, I sure hope she doesn't need the soul, Lyra. I wonder what they're doing with the soul. Okay, I'll lead Morphus down into my basement. And I'll begin, I'll pull out my ink and, a few, I guess, menial gemstones for flavor's sake. And I'll begin, laying out, a circle. And he writes in, a really odd sigil-like tongue, and he begins, chanting underneath his breath. In primordial.
Primordial.
And
I can understand you.
you can understand me.
Yep.
Who's that?
Misha.
Misha. Okay.
Your
Sorry,
apprentice.
my ears are fucked. Misha. He's saying, Oryx, take this soul and bind him to straw. Oryx, extend his life so he may live again. He's just repeating that. And slowly but surely he's making sure that the circle is completed and bound. And he, as it begins to glow with a really eerie greenish color, you can see a flame sort of begin to burst out from the circle as well. And I look at you, Morphus, and I say, stand in.
Steps off into the flaming circle.
And I will place the straw doll in front of him.
Morphus,
And,
as you step foot into this circle, you begin to recognize you're losing all facility over your own body. Everything is starting to go black around you as you feel a pull towards where August is suggesting the doll is. You have a slight moment here as everything's happening. Do you feel okay with going and living inside of this doll? A final question to you as you go.
I think really the only thought he's having is I wonder if everything's just gonna be black, or if I'm actually gonna be able to see through the doll's eyes and actually still be able to see the world, if everything just goes black.
As of right now, you don't have an answer to that question. It's still
But he's
reaming
at
through your
peace.
head.
Do you want to ask me as you're being faded into the doll?
Everything, I'm pretty sure I'm kind of already faded, so at this point I'm kind of just at peace with it. This is questions in his own head.
I love that. Okay.
And with that, August, your body goes entirely limp, and you notice yourself within Morphus's body, moving around. You notice you're much younger and sprier than you were before. What do you do?
I could get used to this. August, well,
You also
like
have
look.
control now of the character.
Okay, sweet. I look down at my hands, and then I look down at the I guess the stairwell, and I'll begin walking.
That's it. No word to anybody. He's just going. All right.
Yeah. I'm a man on a mission.
You will find your way down into the king's chambers here. His tomb. Upon noticing you, will say, "Well, where's your party?"
Here's your book.
You have my book.
Yes, but before I hand it off to you, I need to know that you can make good on your promise.
My promise of my artifact.
Oh, yes. We
What?
made a good deal for you. I want to see the goods.
You see, the honest truth is, I wanted to be out of here. I want to leave this place within my own body, and I believe that the life orb that it was also supposed to be accompanying this book should be here as well. Do you have the life orb?
Nobody mentioned bringing the life orb to me.
No. Well, this was something I did ask for. Your party's not here, so maybe you should ask them. Or not. I mean, you could just give me the book.
That's not how this works. We made a deal. You wanted the book, and I don't wave it, but I sort of like gesture to the bulge in the bag that I've got. And we get the artifact.
Based off of how your party has been so far, I had assumed this would be the case. So, I'll tell you what. What if I meet you halfway? I unlock my sarcophagus here. Completely free to anybody's wandering hands. And you hand me the book.
What did he say is completely free to any wandering hands?
The sarcophagus.
Remind me again what's in the sarcophagus. His body, right? And that's what's needed to...
His body.
You need
and
to
an
destroy
artifact.
that. Yeah. Okay. I need to check something. I'm very sorry about this, but I need to check how face step works real quick. You're spring, right?
Yeah.
Occupied
Yes.
30 feet. Begin unlocking it then. I'll just take a nice little step back over here. You know, to make good on the promise.
I don't have much other course of action besides believing, though I do question where your party may be, as he goes around the sarcophagus in its ethereal form. And it seems like he begins unlocking each corner of the box there.
I'm gonna make note of how he unlocks each corner.
He starts here. He moves diagonally here.
Starts at top right and moves diagonally.
And then here. And then it seems like a seal is broken, but the sarcophagus doesn't rise. And he just places his hand out towards you, says, now it's your turn.
Yes, it is my turn, isn't it? Hold on a second. Coffin isn't fully open.
Well, it is completely liftable by anybody.
Well, you'll have to excuse me when I ask you. I don't fully believe you actually have some form of artifact, so do you mind if I just have a quick look?
I'm growing tired of you and my non-family. That my son should have been here to do this. You go ahead. Come
Oh,
now, beseech this, and if you do not, I promise you, you will suffer.
I lift off the artifact lid, or the coffin lid.
The moment that you do so, everything goes white. An extreme explosion is felt. I mean, everything within this room, for the most part, seems like it would have been completely decimated. As we return to the ground where everybody else was at, and you guys notice.
I don't even get the chance to use like face step or anything. I just immediately just explode.
You immediately just see white.
Okay, August looks a little bit like he comes back to his body and he looks at you immediately at Misha and he goes, "That wasn't right. I didn't have any control over that."
What do you
Very
mean?
important out of character question. Do we see fireworks?
Look, yes.
Oh
You-
my god.
Initially, you see the entire building around you all starting to collapse from top to bottom. And as it does, the faintest
Oh my god.
pieces of red, purple, and white fireworks begin erupting from the ground, almost as if it's just a little tiny sparkle above the ground. Nothing that's shooting off into the sky, but you see the colors.
Very
Yeah.
pretty.
At least his death went out nicely.
We must go into the tomb.
Now?
Yes, we
The
do need
artifact,
to.
the artifact
Fine.
is down there. That was sudden. It was very sudden. It was timed. It felt like she knew the immediate moment that I opened it.
Oh.
And he begins hurrying down the stairs.
You're greeted with a massive pile of rope.
For Christ's sakes.
Oh, that's exactly what I figured.
Oh no.
Hello there.
Tiana, my up-and-coming deity to become, would you mind if we just had a moment?
Absolutely not.
Over this
Is
way,
this-
please.
Is this Lyra or is this cloaked version?
As far as
Like, is it an
anybody
old
can tell,
lady
it's the same version of Lyra you will all have seen.
Do I see this?
You are currently down in the
Downstairs,
staircase trying to get through the rubble, so you would not.
I'd argue I'm in there as well.
Yeah.
Tiana,
And basically, I was just heading in when she popped up.
darling, please
Yes.
tell me. Your friends, here, I see. Everything's collapsed. I don't feel the presence of the king. You've done so well.
Well, it was quite the conversation for sure, but hopefully it's a better result this time.
I just want to go down and see if I can get in there myself. Could you get your friends out?
Well, is there possibly another way to go in? We have quite a stubborn old fool on our hands now.
Not that I know of, no. I mean, okay, so hear me out then. If that's the case, I will just say that no matter what was found down there, if you bring it to me and you are able to present me with that artifact, I could give you some special powers. Something maybe to make people more likely to follow you.
Well, I'll see what I can do then. It's going to take a bit of clearing, that's for sure.
Well, you just let me know, and if you really need me, and you're here within an inside, just call out.
Will do.
Just as she came, she disappeared.
So, like, was I able to see that whole thing basically? Because I didn't go in yet.
You definitely saw the figure appear. Do you want to go over, talk to? I wouldn't say that necessarily you heard anything happen based off of your distance.
Yeah. Okay.
Seems you got to have a little view of that.
Yeah, it's the person that asked us to go get you guys. Was they making sure you were okay?
Yes. And I believe you've already found out that that was Lyra.
That's fun.
Anywho, we'll see. I guess we ought to see what's happening in there. And I start heading in.
Isha will follow. I'm
As
very curious.
Well,
as they come in, you'll see Alari, and I'm assuming to not much success, kind of just tossing rubble out of the way, trying to make a path.
there's so much.
Well, we have plenty of time. August is even like rolled up his sleeves and with his 9 strength and is like pulling away at the rubble.
And
I also have 9 strength, don't worry.
in the meantime,
I
you
have
guys
5.
noticed that Bert and his dryad friends come through, and Bert just is talking about how Bert's got L, and he starts clearing a path towards that artifact. And as you get closer, the dryads actually completely dissipate and can't handle the pressure of being there. But you guys are left in front of an artifact that looks like a regular rock to you. Like, it's gray in texture. It's not very shapely or beautiful, but it does seem to put off some type of immense magical presence.
Well, is this what we were looking for? And I'll grab it and hold it up.
Yes, that's it. That's the one. Is there any sign of Morphus's body?
DM,
Over
do you
there,
want to
over
roll
there,
for that?
over there.
Perception, or
You
I guess
could tell by
perception or
the
investigation?
you could tell, no need to roll, you can tell by the blood-stained rocks you were digging through to get to this, that Morphus was everywhere around this.
So there's
You see,
lots of signs.
there. He's over there, and there.
Okay, next
And then-
question.
Okay.
Can
Do
I
you know?
distinctly realize a toe out of any of these parts?
Roll investigation.
Do we find any flesh, period?
I want a toe specifically first. 10.
No.
It's fucked. That is so fucked for you, Ark. This is so fucked.
To be fair, at least this isn't Joe's
what was the
toe.
roll?
The roll
This
is 10.
motherfucker isn't even dead for
10.
5 minutes.
You find a pinky toe.
Pinky toe.
With ideally, like somewhat sneakfully, I try to pocket the pinky toe.
Since my eyes are on you because you've got the fucking
Yeah.
artifact, I look at you and I go, for Christ's sakes, man, we have to hurry. There's no time to be picking up toes. We got to get back to the bloody grove. Come on. And I
Yes, of course,
Build
but
the tree a little bit.
promised Tree a toe, and I keep to my promises. At least most of them. Tree is a man.
I appreciate-
And
I
I
appreciate
start,
that.
start rushing out.
Did I
Still
find
holding the
any
artifact.
scraps of like his purple armor?
I'm sorry, what?
Did I find any scraps of his purple armor?
Roll investigation.
Interesting question.
I got a 5.
As far as you're looking, you're not finding any pieces of his armor. You do find a peculiar purple rock that gleams and seems to catch your eye, though.
I found
Can I look
something
at it
purple.
further?
Doubt the king's death is permanent, even with this artifact being taken. In a way, I feel for him. His situation somewhat mimics mine. For a time.
Oh, really?
Yes, he had expected his family to come to his aid. Sometimes family resents us, and never wishes to come to find us.
It would be more truer than that. Maybe we do have something in common, old man.
Maybe yet. Apart from the bald heads.
Oh, that one's a much given. You can tell that from a mile away.
You'll have to tell me your story sometime, Joe. You do not seem like the sort to be here.
No, I've done some horrendous things in my past that, looking back on it, I regret it very much. I wish I didn't do what I did, but the power of money consumes all of us, I suppose.
It is greed.
And greed
But-
is what will consume me.
But if you can recognize your flaws, that means you are not done by them just yet. Now, we must continue towards the grove. Is there anybody who has anything left that they wish to rip from the rubble? Last chance.
And as you see the dryads disappearing into the ground, you also notice a white fox pop out that gains Bert's attention. And Bert just wanders off, chasing the fox, saying, "Pretty fox, I follow." Everybody does notice this in this moment.
Dear
Not
God.
again, Bert.
There he goes.
He'll be home shortly. Unfortunate. Well,
It's probably...
off I go. And whether they're out here or not, because I've been waiting for what I would imagine is probably like 10-ish minutes, I'm going to start heading to the grove.
Yeah, I follow.
So there was
And-
you said there was the purple staff, right?
Purple staff. Purple rock, no?
Or
Purple
rock?
stone, yeah.
Stone? What was it?
Just a purple rock.
Suspicious rock.
I want to take the purple rock.
One sec, DM. As after everyone left the building, Juno's like, well, just talking to himself out loud after everyone left. He's like, well, Lyra, it seems Alarian's got it in his possession. Don't know what you want to do about that. Anyways, and then I just, after mumbling to myself, or semi to myself, and expecting her to hear, then I head out.
Okay.
And Alarian is
Oh,
in
give me
like
back here.
not necessarily a sprint, but a pretty rapid walk back to the grove, trying to get, assuming that, you know, everyone would want this item, just trying to get it into the safety of, like, Usagi's hands. Kind of keeping, like, an oddly, like, unusual distance from everybody.
Alarian, you're being quite interesting there.
Suspicious.
Yes, well, it's... I just want this back to Usagi, and if I'm being honest, old man, you're the main reason for the suspicion. You seem to be one in touch with immortality, and I'm not sure if this is something you'd like, and I'd prefer it in the hands of the grove.
I wave my hand and I say, I'm a bit of a stickler. I'm what one would call a connoisseur, and that's not the type I'm looking for.
Oh, interesting.
Well, the suspicion will die down as soon as I get this home, I assure you. Apologies.
Oh,
My
no,
sincerest apologies at that.
It's fine, it's fine.
Pretty much as soon as I enter the dome that is usually around the circle here, I'll just yell out to Usagi, Madam?
Yes.
Madam? I need you to hold on to this for safekeeping, please.
Oh,
It's the artifact from the king's tomb. To say the least, the king
Oh.
is no more. And yes, I need
The-
this in someone's hands that I trust.
artifact.
Yes, correct, madam. And I will instantaneously hand it over.
I see.
Shaggy has been Lyra this whole time.
I'll lose my shit.
I swear.
Le plot twist. I kill myself.
I'll tweak. Yes.
I will lose it.
There you
I'm
are,
gonna-
Usagi. I do hope that this can just remain in the safety of the grove. You've protected the grove and the life orb for so long, and nothing has seemed to come in, even with Lyra here. So I would
Yeah.
appreciate if you can keep it safe. Please do not hand it to even one of us, not even myself or Bert.
Part of my thoughts of this was we give it to the life orb.
You can feed
Oh.
the life orb.
Yes. The life orb has been fed many artifacts. In fact, keeping the life orb at its current state has cost us a lot of magical artifacts. So would you so kindly just place that within the pedestal here?
Yes, madam, without question. And so I'm assuming she didn't take it from me when I held it out. And I'm just going to reach my hand to it, and ideally
Is
not
this what's
touching the life
safest for
orb.
the grove?
I'm
If
sorry.
Madame
what?
Usagi says so, then yes, it's the safest option. She has led us in the right direction many times.
Well, as I'm sure you all understand, Lyra does want this as well.
Without even listening, I'm touching it to the life orb.
As you do so, you will notice the orb glow between green, red, purple, black, and fall on a shiny gold color that seems to not be falling back down into the well, but placing itself and staying levitating above that. And while doing so, the grass around you grows greener. You hear the chirps from birds more now, It sounds like everything within this grove is stirring. What do you guys do?
Out of character. Is it like a positive stirring sound or kind of sketchy, like everything's
Yeah.
evacuating?
Roll a perception check.
Oh, please tell me I didn't just kill my own grove. 21.
You'll notice Usagi perk up and seem like she is happier than she has been in a while. The orb has never done this without the Landra, she'll exclaim.
Well, it seems that you or I have aided it in a way that only Thalandra could in the past. I believe it's probably yourself, as you've taken such good care of the grove, madam.
At this point, we could completely rebuild the city. We would have
Restore life?
protection. We would have protection over the entire city. We could invite new members in. Oh, my. And you all. And she looks over to Alarian. You all dealt with the king?
Yes, madam, correct. Well, I wouldn't say I played such a good part. Our friend, August, where is he, anyways?
Am I not? I should be there. Did I not drag myself in?
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
I should-
yeah, I thought you were, like, intentionally staying out for some reason. My
No,
bad.
no.
Yeah, that's how I went back.
Yes, well, our new friend August and, well, I guess our new old friend Morphus, they played a large part. August, could you come here for a minute, please?
Yes, of course. Greetings.
Yes, Madam Usagi and I would like to extend our most enormous gratitude for aiding us in retrieving the artifact and, well, dealing with the king.
Well, Lyra should be
kind of-
no issue at this point. I mean, honestly, I feel like with the Golden Orb, the Landra always said that with the Golden Orb you could do anything. I believe that even I could take down Lyra. This would be so wonderful. We could rebuild the city. And then just as that's happening, screeching sounds come from your dear friend Tree as he begins to writhe about in his place and then just stop moving, becoming permanent,
Tree?
almost like a regular chest.
Tree.
Tree. Tree.
Tree.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I'm going to open the chest and put the pinky toe in the mouth. Or alleged mouth.
Nothing happened.
Tree.
Something has happened.
Madam? What has happened to
Sh-
Tree?
Hops over. Oh, well, I don't know. What could have happened? Tree,
Are you sure you don't know, Miss Usagi?
I'm sure. Tree, hello, come back to us. She taps on top of the
Tree?
chest.
As much as I hate to do this, can I roll insight on Usagi to see if anything's fishy with her?
Go ahead.
He's lying.
Nat 20 for 24.
You can tell from the bottom of your heart this is still the Usagi you knew.
Okay, I'm not even going to make any comment. It was just kind of peering at her, seeing if anything was off.
And she even begins to fall over the chest weeping as she notices, I believe, the same thing that most of the party is noticing now. The soul inside that mimic is gone, and everything that's left over is just a vacant chest.
Alarian's kind of on one knee, bowing his head. Slight tear, but not necessarily like bawling or anything.
Juna's over here just kicking the wall, basically.
I have a little theory.
Yes.
If that orb removed everything that wouldn't allow Lyra to be here, makes sense
Yes.
that wouldn't, keep him here.
That's exactly what happened. And hence why I asked or mentioned it being safe for everyone.
Well, Tree was originally a member of the Grove. So I feel, even though we have lost a friend, his soul is at peace now. And I'm thankful for that. And Alarian, again, kind of tilts his head down and just starts saying, like, a very small, not necessarily prayer, like he's not praying to a god or anything, but just, like, words of endearment, words of love, wishing Tree, like, the best in the afterlife kind of thing. Is Giona going to pout?
No, he's pissed.
Oh, okay.
Usagi looks over to Ilarion and she says, "Oh, how could such a great day come with such a big loss? We were so close. He was saying his name normally. He still had the obsession with toes, but he was there."
It is an unfortunate loss, but Usagi, if we're being honest, we lost him 3 years ago when Lyra took him. I don't know if he was ever coming back.
That damned god.
And now that Juna's outside of the dome area, he's like, "So, Lyra, I seem to have lost once again one of my people. Because that artifact you wanted was used in that life orb."
You'll notice as you reach out to Lyra that the powers around you are so strong, you can clearly state that nothing is getting out past your vocal suppression. You would need to go, you can clearly notice you would need to go outside of the grove at this point to be able to speak to Lyra.
Yeah. And I'm just blindly walking around anyway.
I will just, ideally to the whole group, I'm not sure if August has come over or not.
I guess he's
but-
standing, he's sort of still. He looks contemplative.
Well, to anyone that's in the area and within earshot, like not whispering or anything, I just kind of, I'm sorry everybody. I didn't mean to act selfishly. I was just trying to do what's best for my family and, well, myself as well, of course. I don't mean to deny that. But I just wanted to use the artifact in what I would view as the safest way. I did not want it to get into the hands of Lyra, and obviously it was no good with the king, so I do apologize sincerely.
Words cannot explain how I feel right now. As much as that damn chest liked my toes and ate one of them without me knowing, he was the first one to actually quite like me.
Yes, and I do apologize for that, Joe. Please understand that before he was turned into, well, for lack of better words, a monster, he was a brother of mine, a trusted member of the Grove, next in line to be an elder even. And I did think for a brief moment about him and him being part of Lyra, but only a brief moment, as if anything was to happen, surely it would just put his soul to rest. So I do apologize, as I said, but I didn't want him to suffer.
As saying so, you guys notice the sweetness of the area grow, and it seems like vines begin growing in front of you. Things in the grove just seem to be immensely aging quicker and quicker within what would seem to make it more fitting of a current druid grove. As beautiful as it was, it seemed at times as things started to become unkept. Now it seems like it's ages beyond anybody's belief.
Is this a good sign to you, Larian? And to your grove?
Well, yes, you see, the life orb has turned gold, and as Usagi mentioned, I know you weren't there, but the only time this has ever happened was when our former archdruid, Thalandra, was here, and that's when we were the safest, when the grove was flourishing, and when we had, well, to say the least, many more members here than we do today.
Many. Oh, wonderful.
Yes,
I need to take a moment. I
of course.
apologize, but I need to.
No, I
He's just gonna,
understand.
like, angrily stomp out.
In the meantime, Giuna has made his way back to the main town with his wandering. And he's, with his constant mumbling to Lyra, finally got her to come forward and say, "What's the matter, dearie? What can I do for you? I'm sorry. You in the grove?
Your
Did you bring me the artifact? I need that artifact."
Yes,
Really?
well, the artifact is now a part of the life orb in the grove.
Well, you didn't do that on
Well-
purpose, did you?
Oh, gods no.
That is
The
most troubling, my dear. You see, you made a huge mistake here, and I thought you were supposed to be my aspiring demigod. We were supposed to be working towards your way of godhood, but no, you couldn't bring me anything, huh?
you're the fool who couldn't get it yourself. To hell with the grove, to hell with you, to hell with everything.
Do you want my honesty, Giuna?
Speak.
I need someone like you. I don't want to admit that, but I need someone like you who likes to play, who likes to be a god. Because not everyone is sutured for divinity, correct? Not a lot of
This is
people
true.
know what divinity even feels like. Having to watch over these people and that people, having to come forward and say, "I'll do this" or "I'll do that." Nobody really knows. But you have an idea.
You're not
I-
wrong.
Cannot leave here. I was bested.
Bested by.
An old god. His name is Thalondra. In fact,
Say that big name again.
Thalondra. Thalondra. To me, he's just a nuisance. Obviously, if I could just be where I was before I would beat into his little tiny skull. How dumb he was. But, I was tricked. And I'll admit that, at least to you, right? Because I have to stay here. There was a large pool of magic. I latched onto it, and now this is my domain.
Now the question is,
I am
What
within
exactly
a
is
different
all of-
plane than you or anybody else here. But this plane exists within your world, and honestly, I need you. So, what do you want? Truthfully, if you were to help me, and I regain my true godhood, what do you need?
I think you already know what I need. I want my own pantheon. I want to rule.
Under which, what would you like to rule upon? Who and what do you have? It's about having followings and understanding how to trick the mortals into understanding these followings. My place has already been taken in the mortal realm. So even I can't offer you just instant glorification, but I can offer you great power.
Power is a start. And I've been like, my eyes have been at a pretty much a squint this whole time, clearly showing off being in quite a bad mood.
Listen, your friends and all that, it's not my doing. I didn't have anything to do with you all taking my artifact and giving it to the grove and making it more wonderful than it was before. I'm barely able even to stay here within inside the city realms. I would say soon, if that godforsaken rabbit has her way, she will ban me out from here as well. So, maybe hear me out. What if I give you a small trinket, and I put a little bit of my essence inside of it? You carry me around wherever you go. And if you really need, or you really need my assistance, maybe I can help you out for a cause. And me can create this pantheon that you want. But if I accept to do this deal, you have to tell me right now and pledge yourself to killing my opponent. Me and you, maybe your party, we will murder the god that tried to murder me. Does that sound fun?
It's simply killing another god.
But you have a god on your side.
You know, I may be quite angry, but I do like the people I have been with. If they're not your opponents, and if God is your opponent, I have no reason to say no.
Well, I will hold out to you a black pendant. Attach this to a chain, necklace. Wear it on yourself. Cannot carry it with any bag. This has to be attached to you to remain to me.
All right.
Soon all I'll have left is my lair in the catacombs.
Have you ever considered working with the Grove?
Absolutely not. That rabbit is unreasonable. Could never have a
Perhaps,
word
but
with it.
perhaps, but you know, he does seem to be the reason that they ever made a deal with the king himself too. And seeing as though what happened within the Grove, she might have a bit of a change of heart. Who knows?
Well, I'll tell you. You take this as she begins phasing out in front of you. And you will just know that I will be able to protect you on your journeys. You just have to ask. And I can do things. And then she completely phases out of your vision as it seems like cooling sensation runs over the town that you're in, and things start to begin gathering dust, as it seemed so clean and pristine before then. It seems like now dust is settling on every surface around you. Dirt beneath your feet is being kicked up onto the ground as you walk, and it's not just being cleaned as you walk.
And I'm assuming the item she just dropped to the ground.
Yep.
Right, which I go over and pick it up.
And that would be Lyra's pendant. If it's not already a custom item, just add it as a regular item, and the custom item will be available soon.
Not currently finding it, so
In the meantime, we were sitting here in the grove with everybody else. How are you guys doing? What are you doing?
Okay, Alarian
Joe
is
was storming
going
off.
to- Yeah, I was gonna say Alarian. I'm guessing like a little bit of time had passed. Hopefully enough that Joe's cooled down. Might still be a little angry. But I'm going to walk out and just try to conversate with Joe here. Joe,
Yes.
are you feeling any better by chance?
Not exactly.
Well, I know it's not much, but you were probably Tree's best friend in his current life. Maybe Giuna as well, but if I'm honest, I don't know where Giuna has went. Would you aid me in burying Tree?
Yes, I'm sorry for that random outburst. It's just it's hard to explain it. I'm not really good with human emotions or explaining how I feel. I never really was good at it.
No, it's okay, truly. We all lost a friend today. Like I said, I was just trying to look at the bright side and the fact that an old friend has had their soul put to rest and at ease. Oh,
Yeah.
Giuna? Is that you?
Giuna?
yes.
Welcome
How
back.
are you doing?
I will be fine.
Well, I was just asking Joe, and I seem it's only fitting if you're involved as well. You guys were Tree's best friends in his time as a chest, and you found him. Would you both be okay with aiding in the burial process?
I do suppose that be nice.
Thank you. I feel
It's only fitting.
it's best if we bury him within the center of the grove, as it's the most protected area, and I'm sure we don't want anything to come across his, body or carcass or whatever we will call it. And so, if you'll follow me, I will get the shovels from Madame Usagi. Madam?
As you come across Usagi over the chest, she's just murmuring, Philandra wouldn't have let this happen. This is my fault. My fault. My fault.
Without disrupting her grieving process, I'm going to where I've always known shovels to be, which is just at the back here. And just going to grab out 3 shovels if possible, DM.
I would say you find 2 shovels.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, there was only 2. Would you guys care to dig his grave?
Of course.
And
I would
I'll
hope.
hand one to Giuna and one to Joe.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, as he does, I have another hand firmly on Usagi's shoulder to say, not like menacingly, just a firm grasp. Like,
It was
you
such
didn't
a
have
young,
what happened.
he was such a young druid. He had his whole life ahead of him. Such a good day and a bad day intertwined. The Lander would know how to deal with this. This is not my givings. I'm meant to be a hand, not the head.
Just remember to, next time something like that comes up, think first. I know that's not the nicest thing to hear right now, but it's the nicest thing I got to say.
I promise you, wherever you lay Tree's grave will be adorned with the most beautiful flowers for as long as I live.
Yes, madam, we were planning to do it here in the center of the grove, so you could tend to his grave and the flowers among it, as well as the orb, so you never have to leave the post that you were asked to stay at.
Very interesting. I have failed you.
No, madam. It happens, if anything. You have to think. Tree vanished on Thalandra's watch many years ago. You were merely doing what's best for the grove, and you've protected his soul. Out of character. I'm fucking heartbroken. God damn. Literal like tear in my eye. It hurts my soul.
Usagi just steps aside.
Okay, and I'll walk, I'll help grab Tree and just ask for one of the others to help carry him.
I'll help. It's the
Thank you.
right thing to do.
And we're just aiming to move him here. DM, we don't have control, so if you just want to put him there, thank you. August, Misha, you don't have to, but if you'd like, we're having a bit of a funeral for Tree, and I'd love if you were here for it.
If you'd be okay with it, I'd actually like to stay by the life orb.
Of course.
Of course.
It's only understandable. August.
Only suspicious.
Yes, I thought the same, but we shall do what we will. We know that no one can grab the life orb, not with its power, the barrier around it, and Usagi. It's simply impossible. So I'll set my suspicion aside. Would anyone like to say a few words for Tree?
Well,
No?
I guess I have a few things to say, even though they probably wouldn't mean as much. You know, for a chest that really had an obsession with my toes, I actually appreciated how eager and excited that little one was to see me. He kind of reminded me of back at Asheville Haven when I was actually a teacher, and I had students that would actually be eager to see me. You know, after years of being isolated, it made me feel human. And for a chest to make me feel human, it means a lot. I guess I'm not the best with emotions like this, but I did appreciate everything that he did.
No, that was beautiful, Joe. Thank you. Giona, do you have anything to say? Any last words for Tree?
You know, I never thought one of my most faithful followers, no, friends, would have been, of all things, a mimic. And yet he was always the one that loved me the most out of most of the people in my life. He was a great little creature, though he did eat quite more than the average. And quite frankly, the only reason he was still here was because we needed to find a way to curb that appetite. Alas, we no longer have to worry, and I hope he rests well.
That was lovely. Thank you, Giuna. And for myself, Tree, I remember when we were just kids, playing tag in the forest, just outside of the grove. It was a wonderful time. Some of my fondest memories. You, Bellamy, Bert, myself. I wish we could go back to those days. Unfortunately, I also remember the attack and the day that you were taken so vividly. It was traumatic. I learned that day that not everything can be kept the way it always is. You showed me love, you showed me what it meant to have family, as well as the rest of the grove, of course. And when I found you, when I found you in your current state, I was so thankful to see that, though not alive, you were still with us, at least your soul. Though I could tell, deep down, that it was being tortured, and as much as it hurts me that you're gone, I do truly hope that you rest well, and though I may not be a believer, I know you believed strongly in Giuna's faith, and were a follower of him, and I hope he helps guide your soul to a safe afterlife and peaceful place. Rest well, my friend. And I'll just look over in the direction of Usagi, kind of teary-eyed, and gesture that if she wants to, she can come say a few last words as well. Does not have to, obviously.
Usagi hops over and says, Tree, I remember the day that you came to the grove. Just a young man, young boy, even. Nobody else. All you asked for was a place to sleep, some food. I wasn't even in Elder Grove at the time. I was just making my way up. Performing. Doing everything that needed to be done. Here we are. This many years later, and all I can say is that I wish, for all of our sakes, the grove continues to be the place that you called home.
Thank you, madam. And just one last time before we fill the grave. Misha, August, I know you weren't around long. Would either of you like to say any last words for Tree?
I think his fate was tragic.
I thought you said his face. It's like, wow, that's fucking rude. Sorry, continue.
No, I say, I thought his fate was tragic.
Misha will kind of just put up his hands to kind of say, like, signal no. He doesn't have anything to say.
Very well, thank you.
I, on the other hand, do, as we bury him, I guess I never really thought I would use it again after what happened at Asheville Haven, but to me, he deserves at least a final melody before he is buried. And Joe is gonna pull out his violin and perform a beautiful melody for him. Would I have to roll a performance check?
Go ahead and go ahead. Since you mentioned it, go ahead and roll a performance check for me.
Please don't
Great.
fuck this one up.
It's 11.
It's not bad.
Joe,
Well,
not bad.
you were able to
now question: performance
perform-
is charisma based. Would that be a disadvantage? Oh no, it was the
been
next
more.
hour. Never mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been more than an hour.
Yeah.
You're able to perform pretty much the same type of symphony that you did before, but not as beautiful. People around you get the gist of it, but it almost seems like you're over and intruding, and you get the feeling that you're doing a little much, and that people aren't in the same emotional vibe as you.
Okay.
Yes, Joe, that was beautiful. Thank you. Well, would you like to finish filling his hole now? Pause.
Whoa.
Yes.
Yikes, sorry. Filling his grave now. Very well. I must step away. The emotion is too much for me now. Excuse me, Misha. Thank you.
It's too much.
So,
Yuna will now, after everyone kind of disperses, look to the decorative gem in his chest plate and just rip it out and place the thing that Lyra gave him inside of that spot.
okay. You
Like,
are successful in doing so.
And then before the last bit of dirt, like, because he kind of left a little hole open, he tucks the gem in there from his breastplate, and then finishes burying it.
And as the funeral is ending for Tree, Usagi just somberly walks back to her main position in front of the orb. Not really saying or doing anything with anybody else, just heading that way, seeming to get into her own trance for the moment. What are you all doing?
Alarian's pretty much sitting there depressed, crying. Again, not necessarily bawling, but it's definitely progressed more than it was originally.
Yuna as well just sits right next to the mound and just quietly meditates.
Joe is just like contemplating, like staring into like the wall, not knowing really what to like think or say at the moment.
August? Misha? Are you all doing anything in specific?
Nope. August sits down next to Misha.
I think Misha would he would take out one of his notebooks and just start writing something in there for now.
Mm-hmm. I sort of I whisper to you, like not even audible to anyone else, like, oh, awkward.
It's probably very sad.
Yuna gets a thought. Hey, Misha,
Yes.
how about making the odd on that other hand now?
Now?
If now's a good time.
I thought you were busy, like, being sad or something, but yeah, I could do that.
It's sad or something. Although you may not feel the same emotions, you have to be respectful of them.
I just walk out behind the mound and step over.
Okay. I'll try to make you match the next one.
August,
Yes.
your friend, the baby killer. I can't remember his name. I just
Haha, Juniper. What a laugh.
yes, he mentioned heading to the islands.
Oh, he's not going there. Wherever he's going is some horrible place which is meant for the hellspawn that he is.
Yes, no, I just seem to recall him mentioning that we should head there. Something about a wizard.
Oh yes, a wizard out in the coastal region. Can I make a history check to see if I know who he's talking about?
Yes.
19.
You would actually remember a tale of between you and Juniper of within the specific region, that wizard. His name is Belial.
Ooh, ominous. Ned Belial. What was it? Do I know what he specialised in?
Oh, magic of the gods, of course.
Oh, of course. What else would we know him for? And I look at you and I say, well, yes, there's a wizard out that way called Belial. He's, might actually be older than us now. He specialises in, you know, magic pertaining to the divine.
Lyra's still around. I'm sure she's not so close to the grove anymore, but
Oh no.
there
But
might.
I will
Yes.
say, don't feel at ease. She's more dangerous now than ever. You've taken something that she wanted. She wanted it quite badly. And when gods are spurned to the point of not being able to get whatever toy they were denied, well, they tend to lash out quite violently. It's either violently or spitefully.
Yes, of course. I did consider the consequences, and I don't believe she can affect the grove, but I do fear my life may be at risk.
She may not be able to affect the grove, but, well. Yes, heading east would probably be a good idea.
Very well. Well, should we rest up before we do so? Actually, DM, what time of day is it?
I would say, given everything, that you're hitting the evening, for sure.
Okay, so, well, shall we feast on, well, not much of a feast, it's rations really, but shall we feast, rest, and make travel in the morning?
Yes, we shall.
Of course. I'm gonna head over and get some rations. Ideally, the rest that I need for the last half of the day now. And kind of take them and just go start meditating, entering a bit of a trance.
Well,
So only
I guess
you
it's breakfast.
and August know of the plans to head east.
Yes, I'll inform others if necessary in the morning. Personally, I'm thinking on everything, like trying to, again, enter that trance and really like get a hold of my own thoughts and emotions before I have any like group conversations.
All right. Everybody else, what are you doing?
Chilling.
Once Misha finishes drawing my hand, then I just relax and take a meditation trance.
Once Misha's done, he'll probably just go back over here to just sit back down and continue writing in his notebook.
Okay. August, Joe.
Good work there, Misha.
Joe is just going to rest against the wall over here. Obviously not listening into what their plan is, just taking a moment to breathe for himself after the day.
All right. I will say that everyone does gain the benefits of a long rest, and everyone go ahead and congratulate yourself to a new level. But here is where we're going to end the session for the night.
Oh, I love a new level. Lovely. Was that how you thought that would go, Fallen?
Not necessarily.
We'll see the void.